So this is episode number 2.
Number 2.
In the new studio.
Okay, yeah.
And Sebastian last week was the first one. And you can hear it's a little echoey.
A little bit.
A little echoey in here.
Yeah, we got to put some pictures on the walls.
Yeah. And so for people that are like, dude, the sound quality just sounds like shit. Like, sorry, guys.
Chill.
Although my listeners aren't faggots, dude. They don't complain about dumb shit. And so, as you guys know, everything's just a work in progress. We have finally, I would say, I mean, other than the wall mats, the gym's finally done.
Yeah.
And that took, I mean, dude, that's like the better part of a year.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's funny how it's like things wear your ass out, but at the same time, they're making you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I'd put that kind of energy into somebody else's dream, somebody else's gym, like contracted out to lay all those mats and stuff, it'd be miserable.
Well, you don't get any self-fulfillment out of it.
Exactly.
You don't have anything. I mean, sure, you get currency that ends up getting spent on food and bills and whatever.
Yeah.
And a year later, you're, okay, I made $100,000 and I have a full belly and still the same roof over my head. Whereas for you, I mean, you have a whole new fucking facility that is rad.
Fucking rad, bro.
Yes.
And we'll go into that. But the next phase is getting this podcast studio done. Mm-hmm. And it's like anything in life. If you rush it and cut corners, it's the end result is going to be compromised.
Yeah.
And so like I want a nice table in here with like, we're looking at the ones that are like nice grains and then they do like epoxy inside of them. It looks like water.
Yeah, river or whatever it is.
Yeah, except fuck, dude. The one
they're expensive.
Well,
dude.
Jenny was going to get me one for Father's Day. She just told me, she goes, hey, I talked to the guy that makes those tables you like and the size that you wanted and what you had in mind. And he quoted her $11,000.
Yep. And I was going to say like 12 to 15.
So we are looking at alternatives. But I mean, I was on OfferUp all fucking day looking for tables yesterday because I want this place to start resembling a professional studio.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. We're here. We have fucking a folding plastic table. And the one extra little like challenge that I'm finding is bouncing back and forth between my house is, dude, I mean, I forgot my fucking camera charger today.
Right.
I forgot one camera altogether. So YouTube, you guys have one angle. It is what it is. But I can't fucking wait. I mean, you can see we already got the metal wall lockers and stuff. That cabinet is going to be podcast cabinet. You come in here and you unlock it and all the stuff is here. And it's just going to, I think the end result of being able to get out of the house and away from the kids.
Yep.
And be able to like, when I'm here, I'm focusing on podcasting.
Right.
It's just like, dude, you ever try and work out in your garage versus driving to the gym? It's a different thing.
It is. And I noticed, well, since I haven't been working, I've been working, but not for a company.
Yeah.
Is just even at the house. Like I'm fucking forging. I'm out in the garden. I'm doing shit. And all goddamn day, either Vanessa, the kids, or my grandma, hey, can you help me do this? Oh, just one real quick. Oh, one more thing. And it's like, you guys, you bitch about the fact that I'm not bringing in money the way that I have been for the entire time that we've ever known each other. But you guys want my attention all fucking day.
Yeah.
So
giving your attention and completing tasks, those two things are not fucking congruent.
No.
They're actually mutually exclusive.
Yeah. So it's like so many times, even the little thing, it's like, I almost want to say, hey, I'm going to the gym and then just fucking disappear into the backyard for a couple hours so they don't bother me. You know?
Dude, let me ask you this because, and I think we touched on it last episode because had you already quit or were you in the process of quitting?
I think I was in the process.
So, I mean, you've been a metal fabricator and a welder literally for what now? 15 years or something?
Yeah, almost 17.
And you finally said, fuck it. I'm done working for the man. I'm going to do my own thing.
Pretty much. I mean, it's been in my head for a long time. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. And then whether they planned to get rid of me a certain way or is just a random coincidence, they laid me off.
Okay.
And so,
well, there's always, I mean, you've been laid off since I've known you 10 times because of the ebb and flow of the need of work.
Right. So
So is that not necessarily like, hey, Tyler, we're laying you off? Is there any negative connotations to that? Or is that just...
No, but I'm also, I always felt that I was a burden to the people who were running the show there.
Yeah.
Because I just...
Well, you push back up on the bullshit.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so I cause a riff in the way they want to run the ship.
And bro, if you're a riff causer,
you gotta go.
You gotta sail your own ship, bro.
And that's it.
And
so
that's it.
When they said, hey, the job you're on got pulled, there's no more work. I think any other time in my life, it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to go and start applying for new jobs, look for another shop to work at. And this time I was like, not doing that. I hate that. I don't care how much money you fucking pay me anymore. I don't have a passion for what I'm doing when I'm doing that. So I love metalworking. Okay. I love fabricating. I love building, whether it's welding and fabricating or forging. I love all metalwork. I do not like to go to a place and work 8 hours a day, every day, and make a fucking 10-foot long by 4-foot wide stainless steel piece with a 90-degree bend in the middle of it. And that's what I do.
And just make a bunch of those all fucking day.
Or even, I'll be welding and stuff, but it's like, then you just sit there and fucking weld, to me, stupid shit. Like, I was working for Microsoft, and you get the blueprints for their new facility that they're building, and, you got a section B in your blueprint, and you got to make a gender wall. And it's like, what? It literally says gender wall. I don't want to make that.
Is that the wall between urinals so you can't look at each other's dicks?
I have no idea. I don't know what is it. I don't think so. It looked like in a cafeteria.
Yeah. I'm getting sidetracked on looking at each other's dicks because I had a guy yesterday. And have you ever had this happen? I'm sure you have.
I can't wait to tell you this story.
Because I'm sitting in a public place. I was at the Angel of the Winds arena for Levi's graduation last night.
Okay.
And I went up there. I had to piss about halfway through. And this guy comes up next to me. And bro, I don't know if he was meat gazing, but I'm pretty sure he was. But it wasn't egregious enough
for you to be like, what are you doing?
Because bro, I had one guy, and this was at the train station in Los Angeles. And I'm in a urinal and I'm pissing. And he comes up and he gets in the urinal next to me. He pretends like he's pissing, right? And the way I knew he was pretending is because then he started leaning way over and like full on like trying to fucking stare at my dick. And I said, hey, motherfucker, you got a fucking problem? You want to fucking stare at my dick? Because it's going to go real fucking bad for you in a second. And he backed up with like this wide eyes and his shit wasn't even unzipped.
His pants aren't down.
Like, so he faked like he was going to take a piss so he could just stare at another dude's cock.
You hit your cock.
And bro, this is what I don't understand about motherfuckers like that. Because that's obviously, I was going to say it's predatory, but like you're doing it to me and I'll kill you.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like, oh, I'm
like a victim.
I'm not a victim. I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Just give me the common decency as a man and let me piss in fucking private. But here's the thing. Like, never in the history of planet Earth has being like aggressively sexual with somebody paid off.
No,
right?
fuck no.
Because it's like, okay, he's clearly fucking gay and he likes dick. Okay. What is the percentage? What is the optimal outcome for him? I'm gonna look at this guy's dick and then maybe he'll see that I'm gay and maybe he's gay too. Or they're not even thinking that far. Their brain's so broken. It's just like, I like dick and I want to see one.
Almost like trying to be in 13 and trying to sneak a peek at dad's Playboy magazine.
Yeah, dude. And I remember, and dude, this dude was like fucking 5 foot tall. He was dirty, like probably homeless. I don't know like what his fucking story was. But dude,
he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know what you
It shocks me when other men who are clearly inferior to you when it comes to like the realm of combat do shit like that.
I think that they're just clueless. I think they're totally out of touch.
I'll kick you in the head so hard you'll never fucking walk again, dude.
They've never heard someone say that. You know what's weird to me? when you sit there and say like a gay dude, because I don't think it's right, but I understand like the dudes who are trying to see up girls' dresses and shit like that. Like I said, I don't agree with it. It's not right, but I get it. But for a gay guy to want to go and look like, bro, you already have your own dick. Like, just fucking look at your own.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, the reason why I want to look at tits and pussy so much is because I don't have, like, I have to go and search them out.
But here's the deal, dude. Like, I mean, we've talked about it on the show before when you were 14 years old and a girl on the bus would be like, hey, do you want to come to my house tonight and sneak over into my room? Bro, I'll walk 10 miles.
Yeah,
and
I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that was a Thursday night.
Yeah.
You know? But there's always an element of consent. Like, the thought of like, for instance, when we were deployed to Jordan in 01, like right when the wars were about to kick off, right? It was October of 01.
Okay, so right after
9/11, and we were basically 3rd Battalion and 2nd Battalion staged in different areas in the Middle East, and this fucking kid comes over, and I think he was an Air Force kid, and his job was to assemble and conduct maintenance on the shower trailers, right? And he's like a fucking E1 or something, like a fucking private. And he's like, hey guys, like, you know, the girl showering hours is from fucking like 5 to 7. And I punched a hole in the side of the tent and you can watch the girls shower. I said, motherfucker, like, first of all,
not cool.
Nobody thinks that's cool.
No,
Second
not
of all,
cool.
You're going to get court-martialed for that shit.
Yeah.
Like, but when you look at a woman sexually, even that requires consent before it becomes something that should turn you on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a woman posing naked in a magazine, she's giving you consent.
She did that.
She's like, I got paid to show my tits and my pussy so men can look at me and fantasize about me. That's consent right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But if you want to jerk off to a girl that's showering, I don't care how hot she is. If you get sexually aroused when that woman is not reciprocating that energy, you should be fucking strung up, bro.
I will tell Vanessa no when she's my wife if she's not into it. No starfish for me. I'm not going to just lay there and fuck a dead person.
100%.
I want the lust and desire and reciprocation back.
Me and Jenny have talked about this a lot. The most powerful feeling that a man can feel on planet Earth is desire.
100%.
You crave me. That is where sexual energy, that's what ignites it, dude.
Yeah. And it makes the man feel like the king.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why, like, bro, sorry guys from Regiment, I'm going to throw some of you guys under the bus, but when you're in foreign countries, it's not uncommon for dudes to go out and get whores.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
And bro, I don't judge that because you're in Thailand and you want to pay a girl and you want to fuck her. Like, again, there is an element of consent there because that woman, and I get it, guys. There's a big sex trafficking rings and shit. And a lot of those girls, now knowing what I know now, they probably aren't giving consent.
Right.
Right. That's probably the truth. So it's probably more foul than I realized at the time.
Right.
But at the time, I wasn't bothered when my buddies would go get whores, but I was never interested in that because the element of desire is missing.
Right.
And for me, the funnest part of chasing women is building that desire to where they want you.
It's the emotion.
That's the game that's being
It's
played.
not just the physical stick your dick in the hole.
Yeah.
It's I want her to want me.
And bro, most like girls will always say, "Good guys just fuck. It's all physical and they just want a nut." Blah blah. It's like, dude, I could jerk off if that's what I want.
100%. If that's the case, why are we going down on you guys?
Yeah, exactly. Dude. So it sounds like you had a meat gazing story, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
People's favorite topic. So we'll delve into this.
It boggles my mind why people do certain things, especially in the fucking bathroom. Like, if there's 10 urinals on the wall and there's one dude in there or two dudes in there, do you go and pick the urinal right next to the other guy, or do you go find one?
Minimum, if there's enough spaces, you always leave one open in between.
Yeah, it's like
that's an unwritten rule of a man.
Skipping lines.
Yeah.
You skip a line.
Now, if you're at an event and there's a 40-person line, we pack in there like sardines sometimes because it is what it is.
Now, in dudes' bathrooms, New ones, I haven't seen this, but old bathrooms that have been around for a while.
Just the trough.
Will have a trough, the stainless steel trough. I was at Monroe Fairgrounds one day, maybe for the fair or watching a race, or I was there. And I remember I had to take a piss. I go down to the bathroom, and there's no one. It wasn't at the time where everyone's fucking out. So the race was going on. I'm the only one in the bathroom. I'm standing there pissing, and it's a fucking 50 or 70 foot trough. And
it's gigantic.
It's huge. I'm the only guy at it. This dude walks in and literally is bumping my elbow. I'm holding my dick, pissing in the thing, and he's unzipping and hitting my elbow to where my piss is like flickering around in the trough. I look, nobody. I look, nobody. And I think, why the fuck would you stand right next to me?
Meat gazer.
100%. He's gazing. Now, I was younger at the time. This was probably 7 years ago. And I didn't think about it right away. But like when you bring that up, that's the only logical explanation of why in a 70-foot trough with no one in it, you would go and bump elbows with the guy who's already pissing.
Yeah, bro. It's fucking insane, dude. Have you seen that meme where it's like 40 urinals and there's a guy pissing by himself? And then another dude, the next picture is a guy standing right next to him. It's exactly this. And then the third picture is the guy leaning over and says, I do CrossFit. So that meme was pretty viral for, I don't know, a few years back. Dude, I was at the airport. This is probably a year ago now. Same thing, pissing. A guy comes up next to me and I'm wearing camo Nobles, right? So those shoes kind of pop. They kind of catch people's eyes. And over the last few years, I've kind of become a shoe snob. I love Noble high tops, right? And he comes up and he goes, hey, bro, do you CrossFit? Because I had Nobles on. They're CrossFit shoes, right? And here's the funny thing, dude. We started talking and then we fucking zipped up and washed our hands. And we talked out in the terminal for like 15 minutes and he was cool. So I was like, all right, he made an observation of my shoes
while we were pissing.
So he gets a pass to talk to me. Like you can talk in the urinal.
Sure.
Just don't be an awkward fucking faggot, dude.
No. It's crazy.
So dude, I got to tell you the story and I got to tell it to the podcast too, because I went down to Texas last week and did Drinking Bros and Mic Drop.
Okay.
Right. And everyone's like, dude, how'd your trip go? How'd your trip go? And I said, both the podcasts were awesome. Those dudes, the Drinking Bro guys, are fun as fuck.
Yeah.
And Mike Ritlin is super cool guy with a great podcast. We went for 4 hours, bro.
Holy shit.
I set the mic drop record.
Wow.
Outside of the podcast, the trip was hellacious, dude. Really? It was just one of those trips where everything could go wrong.
Okay.
Like I took a red eye down there, and this is a public service announcement. If you're over 40, stop taking red eyes. Dude, when I was a kid, I could just crash out. Dude, I was awake the whole time.
Oh.
And so I hit the ground. I landed at 6 a.m. in Austin, and I was scheduled to be on their show at 2 p.m. And dude, I could barely keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
So I found this website called dayuse.com where you can book surrounding hotels by the hour. Oh. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. So I booked a Marriott for 4 hours. And from 8 to like noon, dude, I fucking just crashed. Woke up and felt great. And I was like, thank God for that. Because if I didn't have that, dude, here's the thing. You're traveling to do shows. You're representing your show. Yeah. And you go put out a shitty product. That's not how you grow your network.
No.
That's how you fucking tank.
And that's also how you don't really get invited back onto another connection network.
And so that worked out. And then as soon as that was done, the next podcast was in Dallas. So that's a 4-hour drive.
Okay.
It was the next morning though. So I drove to Waco. That's the halfway point. Crashed. Woke up right to the mic drop studio. Did that show. Again, went very well. And then it's to the airport and flying home. And I was like, dude, I'm in Dallas. I never come down here. I'm going to go see Vinnie and Dime's Graves.
Yeah.
The guitar player and the drummer brothers for Pantera. Because, bro, those guys raised me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say, like Pantera is my second set of parents.
Yep.
And dude, I went down there and I remember, dude, I was standing above their graves. And I'm like, dude, it was heavy. I didn't like it.
Okay.
If I could rewind, I wouldn't go back there.
Okay.
Because I was standing above their graves and I'm like, man, the last time I saw these guys together, They were like filling amphitheaters. I was like at the Gorge with 30,000 screaming fans.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're both just rotting underneath me.
Yep.
And it felt weird, you know, and I don't think I'm very averse to death. I've dealt with death a decent amount, knowing people that were killed in the wars and stuff. But when it's like an icon, and then Eddie Van Halen put his guitar in Dimebag's grave with them.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking, I'm like, fuck, Van Halen's guitar is right underneath me.
Yeah.
And here they are. And their legacy will obviously live forever, but at the same time, they're done.
Yep.
And it was weird.
Okay.
I just didn't like the energy. So then I get on the freeway and I have a plane to catch. I get on the freeway and a massive wreck happens in front of me and I'm stuck for 1 hour. Didn't even move for an hour. So you know the stress. I have a flight to catch and now I'm in traffic, you know?
And when, like, it's bad enough when you're here at home.
Yeah.
And you feel that. But because it's all familiar, the
Yes.
roads, like, it's different when you're not at home.
No, yeah, I don't know the ulterior routes and shit,
Right.
you know? And so I get to the airport and I had enough time. Like I wasn't running super late, but I was now starting to run late.
Mm-hmm.
And so, dude, I get in the TSA line and I paid for TSA Pre, which is supposed to expedite.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go meet with an investigator and shit. Like TSA sets up an appointment with you. I had to go into Everett and do like an hour-long meeting.
Okay.
And now they said, okay, we did a comprehensive background check. You're known as a non-threat. So now they expedite you through security. I walk through and the metal detector goes beep. And I said, I don't have any fucking metal on me, bro. Like I travel all the time. I know exactly. And he goes, no. Yeah, you don't. You're good. That beep just signified a random additional screening requirement. I said, I get that every fucking time I fly. Why am I paying? Why did I pay for this comprehensive background check? So I get additionally screened every single time I fly. And they're just fucking retarded,
Mm-hmm.
you know? He goes, you got to go stand in the box over there and wait for an officer to conduct the additional screening. And they have this little box taped off, right? Just telling the story, I'm getting fired up, bro. And I'm standing in this box and like 5 minutes goes by. Everybody's passing me. And I'm just standing there like a fucking zoo animal on display, you know? And after 5 minutes, I said, hey, bro, do you realize what you're doing right now is encroaching on a violation of somebody's constitutional rights? Like you can't just, every piece of doctrine that talks about detaining people, what the actual law states is a reasonable amount of time. Because they can't say 1 minute and 45 seconds and then you're free to go. Because every situation is different, right? And he goes, well, we're understaffed today. I said, well, if you're understaffed, maybe you don't have people waiting for additional screening. You have to think outside of the box because this is starting to delay people's their travel.
Their life. Yeah.
Right? And he goes, hey, I'm just waiting on an additional officer. We're behind and we're understaffed. I said, give me your supervisor right now, bro. And this fucking bitch comes up that's 5 feet tall and 5 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, what seems to be the problem over here? I heard you swore at one of my officers. I said, yeah, I did fucking swear at your officers and I'll fucking swear at you. I said, I've been flagged. And now we're looking at like 10 minutes. I said, I was flagged for additional screening, but no one's willing to conduct the additional screening. And believe it or not, I have a fucking plane to catch. You don't have to be swearing at us, sir. I said, I don't want to swear at you. I don't even want to be fucking talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go get on my plane. So can someone conduct the fucking additional screening? And she goes, I'm waiting on an officer, just like my other officer told you to conduct the screening. I said, aren't you the fucking boss? Do you not know how to do your subordinate's job? If I'm a boss and my deputies are understaffed, I'm going to start picking up some of the slack to make sure the operation continues to run as smoothly as you can make it run.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are you doing? Okay, I'll do the screening. Come with me. She goes, please hand me your phone. I said, it's in the bottom of my fucking backpack. Where's my phone? I said, my backpack just went through your fucking machine. Nothing flagged. Why do you need my fucking phone? Because you were randomly selected to have your phone tested for explosives.
Dude.
I said, do you know how many terrorist attacks have been thwarted by TSA finding explosive residue on someone's cell phone?
0.
Fucking 0. Ask me how I know. Because I was in my jurisdiction included the SeaTac airport. So anytime TSA had some bullshit that they could no longer deal with, they'd call the police. And bro, she fucking swipes my phone and hands it to me and goes, it came back negative. Shocking.
Yeah.
So you're free to go. And I said, listen, I think it's important that you guys understand. And she goes, I said you were free to go. Like, cut me off.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, so you can detain me for 10 minutes. You're the boss here. And I can't even give you constructive criticism or feedback. If someone that was a law enforcement officer for a fucking decade, and then this other fucking bitch goes, she said you're free to go. That means leave the checkpoint now. And I'm like, like, dude, and all it takes is one incident where people are being disrespectful fucks to you to set you off. And then it could potentially ruin your entire fucking life.
Yeah, your life, not theirs.
You know? And it's like,
I mean, it could. You could ruin theirs, but it's like,
I'm not going to win.
No.
You know?
No.
And it's like, dude, I was livid, like shaking. Because it's like, first you're being disrespectful. You're detaining me. You're not doing your fucking job. And then when your fat ass waddles over here and does your half-ass fucking search, I can't even talk to you about it now.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that is why so many people are fed up with the fucking government. You know, we are sick and tired of being subjugated like to your fucking stupid policies. And bro, those agencies are the blind leading the blind.
Of course.
They don't know what the fuck they're looking for, what they're doing. They're just following protocol. And dude, so like I was shaking, dude. And I go and I sit down at my gate and I look across and there's a dude wearing a First Form shirt. I was like,
someone that's on the same plane as me.
Yeah, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I take a picture of it and I text Andy Frisella and I say, hey, bro, I just had a real, like, I forget what I said, like a shitty day. And now I know that I have an ally just based on a logo.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's badass, dude. And then I walked over and started talking to the guy and showed him that text. And he goes, oh shit, bro. Like, I'm a huge Andy Frisella fan. Real AF's my favorite podcast, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then it started like, all right, now I'm interacting with someone with good energy.
Yeah.
We get on the plane. We back away from the gates. We pull out on the tarmac. And the pilot gets on the intercom and goes, we're number 57 in line for takeoff.
Oh my God.
So lots of planes were delayed due to a storm. Bro, 2 hours.
Yeah.
But
just sitting on the
because
tarmac.
we weren't at the gate, you're not supposed to stand up and pee. You have to have your seatbelts on. And bro, it's like, dude, where is people's common sense? You can't expect people to hold their piss for 2 hours. So I just get up and I walk into the bathroom and I piss. And the flight attendants were using the bathroom. They can piss, but I can't.
Yep.
And as soon as I get up and walk in the bathroom, I hear them get on their intercom and said, you cannot get out of your seats right now, guys. We are on the tarmac and the seatbelt light is on. Do not. And I knew they're putting that announcement out because of me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got to get home, dude. And then I got home and I remember I was telling Jenny, I was like, I have to make enough money to fly private.
Right.
I can't deal with these fucking retards anymore, dude.
Because it gets worse every day. Every day. I do not see society. I see, like, I guess a parallel society kind of starting to be formed with what we have in this type of group of people. But as far as the whole,
yeah,
fuck no. It's worse day by day by day. I mean, shit, dude, the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, I was down in Stanwood, which for you guys who don't know or aren't from Washington, Stanwood is a small Scandinavian Viking town full of old retired people on Camino Island and farmers, blue collar workers. There's dairy pastures and farms. I'm at the store and I don't know why. I don't watch TV, so I don't know what was said, but something has to have been said recently. A lot of people got their fucking masks back on their face, like more than normal. When I was at the store, I would say there maybe was 30 people in the whole store, and at least 15 of them had masks on.
Bro, I've noticed that too lately. A big uptick.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. I was actually wondering the same thing over the last month.
Yeah, I was going to say the last like 3 to 4 weeks, All of a sudden I'm out and I see people with masks on their face again. Bro, remember when I told you last time the mask thing was going on, I said that January of 2022, I think it was, if I ever get kicked out of a store again, I'm beating that person's ass. I won't break their bones. I will not ruin their life, but they will get an ass whooping. If it comes back and we go to the store and they kick me out of the fucking store for not wearing the mask, 3 years later, after everything we've learned, they're getting an ass whooping, dude. I'm not going to get kicked out of the store.
Yeah.
If it's a girl, I won't.
Yeah, obviously.
But if it's like a fucking dude who's being a total dickhead, if they say straight up like, hey, bro, you just can't be in here, whatever. I just won't go there anymore. But if they do the like
aggressive
shit
in your face.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to fucking throw you on the ground and I don't know, maybe just do knee on belly and spit in your fucking mouth and leave. I don't know. But it's like, at what point, I don't want to condone violence, but it seems like at some point there has to be violence. And I don't know where
bro,
to.
Here's the thing. All of these people that are forcing their way of thinking and their belief systems on you, bro, that is violence.
Yeah. It's just because it's not physical abuse, it's emotional and spiritual abuse.
You're pushing your shit on me to a point where now it's reasonable for me to push my shit back on you.
Yeah. And the more that I study like indigenous cultures, ancient tradition, kind of more spiritual stuff, I've learned that your breath is your spirit. And every breath is a renewal, a rebirth, a renewal of your spirit. And that's why our breath work is so important. And for us to essentially be told that we need to breathe our exhaust, which doesn't make sense. Every car, every motor, everything has an exhaust pipe. So you're not breathing it because if you do, you'll die. So that's weird. And then the next thing is to snuff your spirit. No one's going to tell me to snuff my spirit. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know what happened. I mean, obviously we sound like a broken record. We've been talking about it for 3 fucking years.
Yeah, but bro,
it's coming back.
The reason it's important to talk about is because, you know, I talked about it a couple episodes ago, the one that just dropped last week, actually. What these people are failing to realize is they are championing their own enslavement.
Yeah.
And then they're virtue signaling it and acting like they're doing something virtuous. And it's like, you fucking people are falling into the fucking plan and behaving in a way that's congruent with the people that hate you.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
You know? And bro, I mean, I was looking at Instagram this morning and there are still people that are like, oh, you right-wing rednecks that didn't trust the science and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, all this stuff is out there now. This isn't up for debate anymore. Like a lot of the vaccines are getting recalled.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the vaccines there's now proof that there's been tons of adverse effects. And the people that refused it 2 years ago, we were causing the winter of death.
Yeah.
And now you notice that the left, like the major media networks and shit, man, they're not touching that shit anymore because they know if they push too hard on something that's been proven to be a false narrative, it's going to be very clear that that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And some people that fucking just obeyed their masters and did what they were told, they can't accept the fact that what they were told was a lie and what they were told was incorrect and what they were told was propaganda. So instead of opening their eyes and saying, hey, you know what? I fell victim to this shit. You guys were right. I don't even need to hear you were right. But for you to actually still be fucking screaming from a mountaintop to put your mask on to get vaccinated, it's like, guys, that shit was proven bullshit 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When are you going to wake the fuck up, dude? It made me realize people won't wake up, dude.
Not though. They'll be the first to die.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part is that the people that they are fighting for, or the team that they think that they're fighting for, they're going to be the first to be killed by the team that they're supporting.
Fuck, man.
And that's the fucked up part is that, you know, throughout history, you hear the talk of indentured servants and slaves and all this shit. But the reality is that the slave system is at its highest point, I think, in history right now.
Yep.
The difference is that you're not shackled and chained by an iron chain in a shed in someone's backyard. You're told you're free. You're given certain liberties. And because of those liberties, you think that you're free, but you're given an invisible cage. And you love it. Well, not you, but these people love it. And they don't know that they're a slave. So the best type of slave you could ever have is the one who thinks they're free.
Yes. Bro, I've said it a lot on the show. The fucking whip and chain was replaced with a bi-monthly paycheck and benefits. And
the other thing too is like, if we put bars around someone, iron bars, they know that they're enslaved.
Yeah.
If you put invisible bars around someone
and manipulate them
and
emotionally,
never told them, most would never even come to learn that there was invisible bars because they'd never walked to the edge.
Fuck, man. It's so frustrating because as we navigate into this next phase of whatever America is going to become, right now is kind of a tipping point because a lot of people think like, oh, the pandemic's over, oh, the mandates are over, but bro, there's still this fucking negative energy that is surrounding all of these different topics, and if people haven't used what's right in front of their face, just observed what's happening and understood that we're literally in a fight between good and evil, then bro, there is no hope for them to fucking ever free themselves. It's like you just said, they don't even know that the powers to be are trying to keep them in a fucking cage, dude.
No, to the point where even us who are telling them that there's invisible bars, literally, a couple feet from them, they don't believe you.
And they think we're nuts, dude.
And it's like, bro, just stand up and walk a few feet or look at this and you'll see that there's invisible bars here. You cannot go beyond that point.
And bro, like everybody that sees this stuff or speaks out against it. I mean, I talked about it again on the same episode. I have people that like think that I'm just this terrible human being, racist, misogynist, transphobic, homophobic, all of these titles were isms. And it's like, guys, not one person that trains here feels that way about me.
No.
And the gym is fucking packed every single night, dude. Find one person that's a member of my gym. And between members and family members, I mean, we probably have 100 people a day coming through here.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that stuff about me.
No.
But because you heard me say something that you don't agree with, you got to attach all this shit. And it's like, man, you guys are what you're going to do is you're going to basically paint yourselves into a corner because it's all the same talking points. It's all the same accusations. And people are realizing that it's a false narrative. But it's like they're willing to die on this hill of just attaching these negative connotations to you so you lose validity. And it's like, fuck, man. If you would sit down and talk with me, you'd realize none of that shit is true. And you know what? None of that shit is true for anyone.
I know. Your Chris Packney told me about the 100 monkey experiment that I thought I had heard about it, but I guess I hadn't. Have you heard about the 100 monkey experiment? I thought it was
maybe. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so I thought it was something like you teach 100 monkeys something, and then all of the monkeys worldwide will learn. So if you teach a monkey how to use a stick to throw it, or fucking crack a coconut open, you teach 100 monkeys, and then after the 100th monkey, all monkeys on planet Earth know how to take a stick and crack open the coconut. That is not what he was talking about, but that is something. That's another experiment they've done. His was they took 10 monkeys and they take a ladder and they hang a banana above the ladder, but they shock the ladder. So any monkey who tries to walk up the ladder to get the banana gets shocked. And they do this until the point where the 10 monkeys are like, fuck the ladder. We're not going up there to get the banana. But then they start trading monkeys out with monkeys who have never been in. And they continue doing this until all the original monkeys who had been shocked are no longer in there. And they're all monkeys who have never went up the ladder.
And never been shocked.
But if they take a monkey in, like, I don't remember exactly how it was, but if a monkey was to try to climb the ladder, the other monkeys would rip him off the ladder and beat the shit out of him. But it's not shocked anymore. They took the shock off. So over a period of time, when you scold or have a negative consequence on living life, over generations of the same thing, pretty soon, even if it's not true, for instance, it's not going to shock them anymore.
They're holding each other to that same standard, though.
Yeah. The population, if you go against the grain, if you don't be in the herd mentality with the rest, not only will you, not be friends or be liked, they'll slander you. They'll beat the fuck out of you. Which
with the mindset of they're protecting you.
Yes. Just like that prison experiment thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same type of thing, because in their mind, they're doing it for the greater good. So as long as they're doing it for the greater good, they'll go to any length. When we look around and we see, like, all of this information is fucking blatantly obvious. It takes 2 seconds to look up literally any of this stuff. It's not, you don't have to go to some library and find some hidden book with dust on it to find this shit. It's out in the open.
Yeah.
But people are still denying it. And people are still willing to fucking fight and slander and burn shit down. And it's like, okay, well, at this point, then clearly it has nothing to do with logic, truth, or facts. And it's purely this indoctrination of some type of inherited behavior throughout, time. Don't question this. Don't ask that. Or it will be, or you'll be grounded, or we'll take your money away, or you won't have allowance, or I won't let you go to the movies, or you won't get a fucking job promotion. It's always, don't do that or else, until we don't ask questions. We don't fucking look around. We don't observe. We don't speak out. We do not critically think anymore, because that's offensive.
Fuck, dude. I think I'm going to throw up.
Do it.
So, yeah, I just had a chew.
That's in.
Bro, it's hitting me weird.
Puke.
I might throw up. So if you guys hear a, ugh.
Did I ever tell you about, this is back to I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but back to the peeping on dude's sausages. Did I ever tell you about my incident at the Supercross at the Seattle Stadium?
No.
About getting pulled into that guy's suite?
We can circle back to meat gazing. Let's go, dude.
Okay. I don't know why I was just thinking about that.
Will I compose myself and stop sweating?
Probably because you're going to laugh your ass off. I thought for sure I had already told you this story, maybe even on your podcast. But here it goes. One of the meat gazing stories. I'm at Supercross in downtown Seattle at the stadium down there. And all of my buddies have, they have tickets in like the 100 section, but I was a little late, so I had to buy the nosebleed section. So I'm way up on the fucking, in the nosebleeds, and I go to I go to purchase a beer. So I walk down the bleachers, go into the little stands, go to get a beer. And while I'm waiting there, I get this little kind of whisper talk behind my head that says, "Hey, I really like your neck tattoo." Well, I don't have it anymore because I got it covered up, but I had a tattoo of a dirt bike whipping over the Cascade Mountains, but it looked like shit because it was just a big black blob, the silhouette. It just looked like shit. At the time, apparently the dude liked it. And he goes, "You sitting up here?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, well, I got way better seats or something like that if you want to, come down with me."
You're like, okay.
And I'm fucking wasted, dude. I'm so drunk. I look at him and I was like, all right, you got better seats. So I follow him. And he brings me down the elevator, and we're like not in anywhere that I would normally be. It's all like nice and fancy. And he fucking like has this key or this key card, and he opens up this door, and we're in this box, this suite. And there's no one else in there. It's just him and me. And I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. So I sit down, and he goes, "Can I get you anything to eat or drink?" I was like, "Yeah, take a chicken Caesar salad and a fucking whiskey and Coke. Roger that. So he fucking gets it for me and he sits down and my food comes and we're at like the little table. It's like the little circle table. And so we're like really fucking close. Still don't think anything of this. I get a phone call from my friends. They want to know where the hell I'm at. I've been gone. I tell them, and I still remember it was room 201. I go, well, I'm at this dude fucking invited me to the suite and I'm in room 201. Why don't you guys come down here? There's like 30 people I'm with. They come down, or no, I get off the phone and he goes, who was that? And I go, my friends. And he goes, well, your friends can't come here. I go, well, they're bringing my coat. They're all coming here. And he goes, no, they can't come in here. Knock, knock, knock. It's them. He opens the door and 30 of my friends and just other people push him right up against the wall and just fill his entire suite. And I left. The next day, I woke up and totally realized that guy was gay. He brought me to his suite. He bought me a chicken Caesar salad and a whiskey and Coke.
Get you drunk, dude.
Oh, he was totally. And I was so fucking clueless and drunk that I thought, man, this guy's so nice. He got me food. He got me dinner. And no wonder he was so mad that he didn't want all my friends there, but they fucking took it over. So,
well, bro, this is what's bizarre. Like, if you're gay and you want to throw it out there to another guy, isn't there probably a 98% chance that it's not going to be reciprocated?
Well, yeah. I mean, being gay is that's not normal. That's not the normal thing.
No. And you don't change your sexuality based on how many whiskeys you've had or a Caesar salad.
The only thing that I've ever seen.
It's not like, hey, I'm going to go home with this chick that's not a 10 tonight because I'm drunk and I've lost my inhibition and I just don't care.
I don't care.
Right.
I just want to get my dick wet.
It doesn't get to the point where it's like, you know what? I've lost my inhibition, so maybe I'll just go gay tonight.
Yeah. We'll just get it, dude.
What a fucking bizarre way to have to navigate finding sexual partners.
That's why they need to not go that route. They need to start going with the dudes who do meth, because all meth heads turn gay. Every meth head I've ever met ends up being fucking weird.
Well,
or getting weird.
And even that is probably, well, I was going to say it's not gay. It's certainly gay. But once you interject drugs and addiction into it, now people's standards will fucking
diminish.
Greatly diminish,
yeah.
Dude. I would like to think even if I was a heroin addict, I ain't going fucking gay, dude.
Not heroin, but if you were a meth head, you would. There's something about the meth that turns like even the most savage dude. If he gets on meth for a period of time, that guy, he might not admit it, but there was times he did weird shit.
So don't try meth.
Don't do meth.
That's another public service announcement
don't do meth.
From today's podcast. Well, meth heads are also like hypersexual.
Yeah.
So methamphetamine, I don't know how it works with the brain, but it obviously is intertwined with whatever parts of the brain get aroused sexually.
Right.
Because as a cop, and every cop listening will be like, oh yeah, of course. Anytime you're doing a warrant or making an arrest on known methamphetamine users, or it's like a methamphetamine bust, you're going to find porn and you're going to find like dildos and sex toys and all kinds of shit. Because those people get fucking high and they're hyper sexualized. And I think maybe I'm misspeaking here, but I think they like don't get satisfied.
Yeah.
So it's like
they don't ever get to climax.
Yeah, it doesn't
like
matter if they fuck or not. That just maintains. They
just need something to do.
Oh, fucking human beings, dude.
Crazies.
We're sitting here talking about all this shit and people wonder why the world's imploding around us. And it's like, dude, I actually just saw something the other day where I think it's most empires, like 250 years is kind of where even the most successful empires start to crumble.
Yep.
And it's because, I mean, it's that age old saying about like good times create fucking weak men create hard times create strong men. Like there's a cycle that is just continuous. And if your society becomes safe enough and prosperous enough where you have food and you know, you're not worried about a rival tribe raiding your village and beheading you. As soon as there's not real issues, human beings start to create issues.
Yeah.
And it's because, I mean, I talk about it all the time, microdosing adversity. Adversity is part of the human existence. And when you create a society that is not only devoid of adversity, but everybody inside of it is also averse to adversity, what you find is a society that starts to become weaker and weaker and weaker. And now we're watching the results of 70 years of weakness being perpetuated on the American civilization. And bro, you can't have a society that's rooted in weakness and think when it's time to show strength to have the capability to show that strength. Those two things can't simultaneously exist. And it's strange to me that everybody can't see this for what it is. You know, we got all of our fucking kids that are like, they're all overweight. They're all talking about their pronouns. They're all like massively supporting this LGBTQ plus movement. And it's like, dude, all of you fucking guys and gals are just playing into the continuous weakening of our country to the point where it's not going to be sustainable, but we might already be past the tipping point, you know? And we can sit here and preach and scream from the mountaintops, but until an individual is willing to accept this as truth and then implement things into their life to develop into a stronger, more capable person, until they're willing to do that, we're just going to continue to degrade. Yeah. And bro, most people aren't willing to do that.
No,
so where does that leave us?
Oh, dude, this is the question of all questions.
Yeah.
What do you do? Because for me, it's been going on a lot more than just the last 3 years. It's been going on for a long time.
You've known about this shit forever.
And I've gone through so many different phases or eras from, oh my God, I need to tell every human being that I fucking know, to being shot too many times by doing that, to where it's like, fuck it, I'm not going to say anything. And then I'm around people who are essentially just spreading blatant fucking lies and rumors, but I'm not saying anything because I don't want to deal with the backlash. So,
well, not only do you not want to deal with the backlash, but at what point if your words are falling on deaf ears?
Yeah. When am I wasting my time?
You know, I heard a quote yesterday and it said, when you argue with an idiot, it just creates two idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're trying to get your point across to someone who's never going to understand.
Yeah.
So I've gone through that. And where I'm at now is I'm done giving my pearls to people who don't want them.
Yeah.
So I don't go, I mean, I do my podcast and I do your podcast, and I'm not censoring myself by any means.
No, but it's creating an environment where people are choosing to receive the message.
Yes.
And bro, both of our emails now are fucking filled with people. I mean, I've talked about it on the show plenty, dude. I get emails constantly that are like, hey man, like, started listening to the show, decided to clean my diet up and start training jiu-jitsu. And you'll be shocked to hear that their life overall improves.
Yeah.
But again, that the only way that can ever come to fruition, that can ever work, is for you to receive the message and then say, I got to put work in.
Yeah.
There is no other path.
No, and those people want those pearls is the thing.
They're seeking them.
Right.
And maybe a perfect example is our new white belt, Steven. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Steven is?
Yeah, I think so.
Been here like 2 or 3 months now.
Yep.
And he pulled me aside on Monday. And sorry, Steven, if this was supposed to be a private conversation, but it's a celebration. That's why I'm sharing it. And he goes, bro, being a member of this gym has already changed my life. I've cleaned my diet up. I'm surrounded by people that I enjoy. And I'm down 20 pounds already. He's ice bathing every single night after practice because we have the ice bath in the sauna. And he goes, dude, like, I come here, I train hard, I sit in the ice tub. And bro, his first time getting in the ice tub, it was was hard for him.
Of course.
Just like it is for most human
Fuck
beings,
yeah.
right? And now it's a habit. Now he's being consistent. And he goes, dude, this place has fucking changed my life, bro. And this is what I told him. I said, now as exciting as that is, it's also not surprising.
No.
Because the formula is out there.
Well,
I didn't create the formula. I just learned that the formula works, and I created an environment where we can sell that formula to people.
right. We can implement it.
We can implement it. And I've heard that story so many fucking times. Every time I hear it, it's equally as exciting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, fuck yeah, another one. You know?
Well, it reassures what you already know, in that every time you get that reassurance, it's like, yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes. But on the other hand, it's like, duh.
Yeah,
Right?
of course it's duh. You know? But for people that haven't experienced it, this is this shift in your lifestyle is something that it's like trying to imagine a new color, right? It's something that is so outside of your current realm of thinking that it doesn't even seem like it's reality.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you actually implement it and you see a shift in reality, okay, there it is. I just unlocked the code and now I know what I need to do.
And all you got to do is see it. Once you see it, now it's a reality to you. Even if you haven't got there yet, you at least know that new color or that new thing. It's like, oh, it's fucking there. People who come in here, even when they don't train, like say like last Wednesday, a guy who I went to school with, who is friends with Jake.
Okay. Blue belt Jake?
Blue belt Jake.
Okay.
No, blue belt Jake. They know each other. And apparently through podcasts or talking or however, somehow the guy I went to school with got a hold of my podcast, started listening, and then shot me a message and was like, hey, you know a buddy of mine, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, then when do you come into the gym? Like if you're friends with Jake and you're listening to my podcast and you're now listening to Greg's podcast.
It's time.
And you live in fucking whatever, Marysville. Why are you not coming to the gym? I'll see you soon. And he's like, well, when? I said tonight at 6:00.
And he showed up.
And he showed up.
Did he train?
No, he didn't.
Okay, just observed.
Just observed. But I think he's going to come here tonight or on Monday and wants to sign up. He's like, I need that. I went there and I felt what you're talking about.
Fuck yeah, bro.
And-
And bro, that's the same thing Steven told me. He goes, he did one practice and he goes, where do I sign up? I said, bro, you started day one of your week free trial. I said, talk to me on Friday, because this is the truth from a business owner standpoint, right? I don't, and I sometimes joke like I'm a shitty businessman, because I usually don't jump at the chance to sign up a new member, because what I would rather have happen is someone spends enough time here to really buy in on who we are and what we're doing. And then I have a new teammate.
Right.
I don't want new clients. I want new teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I also make it very, very easy to quit the gym. At any time, you can send me an email and your contract is canceled, right?
Yep.
And he goes, I don't need the rest of the trial. I said, well, bro, I'm not here to talk you out of joining by any stretch, but I also want to know that you're all in before you sign up. He goes, everything I need to know, I learned tonight, and I want to sign up right now. I said, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the energy I need from people before I try and sell them a membership.
Yeah.
You know?
On what is today? Wednesday. On Monday, I was teaching fundamentals class upstairs.
You're teaching sweeping, right?
Yep.
Well, before we go into the story,
Okay.
let me just, I want to talk about that for a second, because now that we have 2 mat rooms in one facility, what we're doing is I run advanced class downstairs. I don't even call it advanced class. I run regular class.
Mm-hmm.
And then either a purple belt or a brown belt is tasked with teaching Jiu Jitsu 101 upstairs. Jiu Jitsu 101 is a fundamentals-based curriculum that basically talks about what the mount is for a week, what the back is for a week, side control, the closed guard, the concept of sweeping, and the concept of passing. In my opinion, that is kind of, if you understand those 6 fundamental elements of jiu-jitsu, you really understand how the game is played now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already had lots of people pull me aside and say, dude, the fundamentals class is everything that I needed. And you are actually getting a lot of fucking praise because the way that you teach, it's just like you're good at speaking. And you also have a very in-depth knowledge of jiu-jitsu, even though, yeah, sure, you're a purple belt. But fuck, I tell people, purple belts are black belts that just aren't quite as refined yet. You understand almost everything that I understand. Mm-hmm. And my question is, now that you are teaching, have you noticed how much more in depth you're starting to understand positions?
Oh yeah. I was just telling Vanessa last night, I leveled up within the last month. Something happened.
Bro, it's you teaching because your jiu-jitsu that you implement in a live roll is your jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And a lot of your jiu-jitsu is taking place in real time during a live roll, and you don't understand all the nuances that you are actually doing. And how many times have I been teaching something and you'll come up to me and be like, hey bro, like I noticed when you grab the arm here, your right hip touches the ground. Is that necessary? And I'm like, I didn't even realize I was doing that.
Right.
And then we kind of dissect that. And then I start to realize, yeah, that actually is positionally, that is necessary for me to get the proper angle. And right there, through teaching, I'm understanding the mechanics and the application of jiu-jitsu in a more in-depth way.
Yeah.
You're there, bro. It's fucking rad, dude.
It is because I will notice one of the things I've been doing recently is really trying to implement the moves that we're doing that week.
Yeah.
So like we've been on the Kimura the last 2 weeks. So when I'm doing this, I'm paying attention to all these little nuances. And for me, it helps because I'm here with you teaching the kids for an hour right before, and we go over essentially the same exact thing, just more detailed.
Yes.
So I'm getting 2 to 3 hours of training on each one of these moves. And then I go upstairs even and teach it again. So when I'm rolling, I've noticed like in real time, there's times when, for instance, like we'll just take your metaphor of the hip. You had your hip on this ground and you switched it over. I would notice that. Like I'm mid-roll and say the Kimura, I'm going to do a butterfly sweep, but I'm pointing into him. Like I'm going to do the submission. And now because of that teaching, I realize, oh, I just need to look the other way and boom.
Yeah.
Whereas before it's, this move isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro, I honestly think like that's a very white and blue belt way of thinking. Like this move doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, I remember being there when it's like your professor shows you something, it doesn't work.
No.
And then you think, this doesn't work for me. And it's like, it doesn't work for you because there's little details that you're missing.
Right.
You know? And so I would really, really encourage anybody purple belt and above to start seeking opportunities to teach other people jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Now the caveat to that, also Monday night. Do you remember my speech to the team at the end of practice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because during live rolls, I saw lots of white belts coaching other white belts.
Yeah.
And so my thought process on here is during a live roll, obviously if you're purple, brown, or black and something egregious is happening while you're rolling, it's okay to be like, bro, listen, never turn away like that.
Right.
When you turned away like that, you exposed your neck, and that's a dangerous position to put yourself in.
Yeah.
It's okay to have teaching moments during live rolls. However, I try and really, instead of articulating teaching points during live rolls, if someone makes a mistake, I capitalize on the mistake to show them how that position actually puts them in a deficient position.
Yeah.
So if you want to coach people while you're rolling, I think you have to have the ability to turn your intensity up and down and kind of meet them where they need to be met and then teach them those lessons through live jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
If you don't have the ability to teach people those things during a live roll through actual implementation of positions, then in my opinion, you probably don't have the expertise to be talking through it. That's why I say I don't want to see white belts. And because some of the guys, And I'm not trying to bust anyone's balls if you were one of these people and you listen to the show, but you're actually doing that person a disservice because you don't have the technical proficiency to be correcting technique.
Yeah.
And some of the people that I saw, I'll tell you afterwards, I'm not going to throw them under the bus by name because they're teammates. They're good people.
Yeah.
They're trying to help.
Right. They're doing it out of.
They're coming from a good place, but it would be like me fucking going golfing for a week and then taking you out and like trying to perfect your swing.
Right.
I have no fucking business doing that. And the only thing I'm probably going to end up doing is teaching you bad habits.
Right.
You know? And so there's a fine line between just fucking kind of like live rolls are for live rolls. If you're a white belt and you can out roll and you can out position someone, just do that.
Yeah.
Those are the lessons that people need to learn. And if you're a higher ranking belt, then by all means jump on the opportunity to teach people. But nobody has anything to gain from the blind leading the blind. And some of the kids that were doing it were like brand new kids. And I notice it's almost like an inherent need to teach the people that are here on like the first or second night.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just let those people do their thing.
Yep.
I got it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that I've noticed with teaching is it's one thing to be good at a skill, whether it's jiu-jitsu or shooting or welding, whatever it is. It's another thing to teach the skill. But one of the things that I've been noticing that I feel like I've gotten a lot better at is, can you look at a group, let's say the kids, there's 30 kids on the mat. Can you look at a group of 30 kids, so 15 groups, and be able to spot what they're doing wrong?
Yes.
Because yesterday I was teaching little kids class and they were learning ankle picks. And when they were done, I immediately seen that every single kid there was having a hard time with the ankle pick. From my own experience, if you do an ankle pick properly, it's like the easiest fucking takedown you could do.
Yeah, if you're good at ankle picks, it's a high percentage finish.
Yeah, it doesn't take strength or anything. It just, you get their head over their toes and fucking break their posture down, and it's like a banana peel.
Yep.
So if I see the kids like really fighting, red in the face, just fucking struggling, that means they're not doing something right. And I knew what it was immediately. It's just the grip on their collar. They have, it gripped down here.
So they can't hinge them at the hips.
So they can't hinge them at the hips. But I shouldn't say most people, a lot of people, even if they can teach the ankle pick, did they pick up while the kids are not being able to do the ankle pick properly?
Yeah, those little nuances that they're missing.
Yeah, it's what are they doing wrong? Because that's completely different, in my opinion, is being able to observe people doing the move or the drill and being able to fix it for them when they don't know what the problem is.
100%, man. And I've noticed I've leveled up in that department too, I would say over the last year, where I can see what people are doing and where they're deficient and correct it.
Yeah.
But that's also just like everything in life. It's a double-edged sword, because if they aren't getting the move right and you can't identify the deficiency, one of the worst things you can do is kind of start hemming and hawing and kind of making up what you think the problem is, because you see that with coaches sometimes.
Oh, I just say I don't fucking know.
Dude,
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this plenty, but I had a red belt tell me that. Have I told you that story? A red belt. His name was Master Miguel, a checkmat red belt. And when I was a brown belt, he pulled me aside and he goes, and this was down in Huntington. He was in Joel's gym. And we didn't train with this guy. He was just in town visiting and came in and like, fuck, man. And this dude grew up with Elio Gracie. Like they were homies. And he goes, just remember, you'll be black belt soon. And the most important phrase that a black belt needs to remember to be able to be comfortable telling his students is, I don't know. He goes, because as soon as you put a black belt on, everybody thinks that you have all the answers. And he goes, you're going to be the same guy tomorrow as you are today, regardless of what color cloth on your belt is. And if you ever try and fake an answer, they'll see right through that.
Yep.
And then you lose credibility. So always be comfortable saying, I don't know the answer to that, let me do some research. Let me ask some people, and I'm going to try and get you an answer.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's what I say, like jiu-jitsu mirrors life because, bro, that's anything.
Yeah.
If I go to you with a welding question, because dude, Tyler's my homie that knows how to fabricate metal. I guarantee you there's things about fabricating metal that you aren't familiar with.
No, but as a black belt, I might not have that exact answer, but I can say, I think this is what I would do.
Yeah.
And then we'll try it.
Yep.
And it's like, nope, that is not what we're going to fucking do. This is what we're going to do. You have enough tools to where you can figure out how to problem solve.
Yes.
Typically, no matter what the problem is, even that, but that doesn't mean that you're going to solve it the very first time perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about it, about people who have trained jiu-jitsu for far less years than you being frustrating sometimes.
Tom.
There you go.
Fucking Tom.
Okay. There's a prime example of
An anomaly, but guess what? It's also reality.
it's also reality.
And for people that are wondering, Tom has not even hit his 1 year mark of jiu-jitsu.
And he's like a purple belt now?
No. Well, he's a blue belt, but he'll submit almost every purple belt you've ever met.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the physicality, but here's the thing, like, oh, well, Tom's big and he's strong and he's long. Like, okay, sure. He has good genetics for jiu-jitsu, maybe the best genetics for jiu-jitsu. Guess what? Some people have better genetics than you.
Yeah.
So sad, too bad.
Yep.
But more importantly than his physicality, his mental approach to jiu-jitsu, I've never seen anything like it. And bro, I can barely pass his guard now. People are like, you can't pass a blue belt's guard. I'm a guard passing fucking machine, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know my value in jiu-jitsu. There are plenty of positions that I'm deficient in. But if I pass your guard and get you into side control, after 20 years of that being my hub, 99% of people are fucked under there.
Yeah.
Tom regards almost every time.
Fucker.
Yeah. But here's the thing. On one hand, it's frustrating. But the other hand, bro, we're not all equal. And if you find someone out there that presents fucking problems to you, lean into that shit.
100%. How much better is that going to make you by not being able to pass his guard the way that
100, yeah,
want?
dude. And so like everybody comes with just different physicalities and different just the way that their brain functions. And guess what, man? Sometimes you're going to have a fucking Tom.
You are. But as a black belt, usually you will have the tools to be able to solve that problem sooner or later.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe not the first time, any regards, but over a period of time, if you guys rolled 100 times in a row, by 100 times, I guarantee you start getting the upper hand.
Well, I started learning a couple things.
So that's what I mean. It's just, you just have the tools because of that black belt knowledge.
Yeah.
Where you can say, I don't have the exact answer to pinpoint. However, I got a vast toolbox, and between all of these tools I have, we will solve this problem.
And bro, and that is what makes jiu-jitsu so intriguing.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like take the actual combat aspect of it off the table, is that it's like you were facing adversity and then you were problem solving and you were trying to figure out a path to victory. Isn't that fucking true for every aspect of your life, dude?
Yeah.
And like sometimes victory comes easy, sometimes it's real fucking hard, and sometimes you fucking lose.
Yeah. And when you're trying to figure this out while someone's trying to kill you, it sets you up for when you're in real life, when you get put into these positions where you're problem solving. I always go back to, well, at least I'm not stuck in fucking mount or mother's milk. Someone's not on my back strangling me.
Yep.
I can breathe. I can move freely. It's not as bad as Wednesdays and Fridays and Mondays.
What were you going to say about upstairs on Monday now?
We were talking about just changing people's lives and the energy that the gym has, brought to the community and how much it has enriched and flourished people's livelihood. And on Monday, I was upstairs teaching the fundamentals class, and there was a new woman. It was her first day. She's a mom of one of the girls at, I think, little kids class. Anyways, it was her first day. And it seemed like she had a good time.
Don't say her name, but do I know her?
I don't think so. I don't even know her name.
Okay.
Or if I did, I don't remember. So I'm sure I'll learn by tonight. Anyway, she had a very good time. I could tell that she was learning. She was scared at first, obviously, anxiety, but by 1 hour, she was feeling a lot more comfortable. Then yesterday, when I came to the kids' class to teach, she was here. Her daughter asked her, "Who was your coach last night?" She pointed to me. And then maybe 30 minutes later, a dad came in, was hanging out, and they were just over in the corner. Nothing of it. But when class was over, that dad came to me, asked me a bunch of questions, and was like, "If I sign up, would you be teaching me?" And I was like, "On Wednesday, tomorrow, yes, I will, because I'm still continuing upstairs." And he was like, "I want you to teach me tomorrow. I want this place. I like the way that you are. So I'll be here tomorrow."
Fuck yeah. So he'll be here tonight, dude.
Yeah, because he was talking to the mom who was here on Monday.
Yeah.
About her first day.
Oh, so I was under the impression that they are a couple.
No.
They're just sharing
experiences.
Okay.
She said, "I tried out on Monday upstairs. This was my coach." She must have praised me or said high things of it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
To the point where he's supposed to be here today.
Nice, dude.
So to have multiple people now, either just from walk-ins or from the emails or from the podcast.
Or from another huge one is their children want to try jiu-jitsu. Then they see what the vibe is here and they want in on it.
Yep. So between all of those things, it's like, you couldn't convince me that this place doesn't change lives. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I see it with my own two eyes on multiple different people.
Yeah.
So,
and like the cool thing is like momentum is a real thing.
Yes.
Right. And it's interesting because I put so much of my energy into the gym over the last 6 months. The momentum is palpable.
Yeah.
You can fucking walk in here and feel it.
Yep.
But simultaneously, I've noticed momentum on other aspects of my life slowing down with like my social media, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing followers just because, you know what, dude, I don't have time to put out like a cool reel every day.
Right.
It's not a priority right now.
No.
And now I'm not one of those people that also like, I don't give a fuck how many followers I have. It's like from when podcasting is part of your livelihood now, the more people that you can reach and the more people that you can get eyes on you and your product, the better, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to lose followers. I want to gain followers.
Yep.
Like I don't give a fuck how many followers I have. That's like people saying, I don't give a fuck what other people think of me.
Yeah.
Well, you better give a fuck what other people think of you.
Yeah. That's the thing.
It depends on who those people are. But to say I don't give a fuck what other people think of me, are you going to live in a yurt in the Arctic tundra? Because if that's your goal and you just want to be a hermit and isolate yourself, then you can legitimately say that. All of the rest of us have to interact with people and develop relationships. It's the same thing. Like there's a real element of podcasting and social media that is beneficial to my life. And I want to keep continuing to grow and nurture that. But you can only put your energy into so many things. And right now it's been jiu-jitsu. And bro, the proof is in the fucking pudding.
Yep.
We're here, dude.
That's it.
Like it might reach a point where we can't take members anymore.
I've thought about that.
That day is coming. I don't know when, but that day is coming.
I mean, dude, there's people who have been training other gyms who are leaving their gyms to come here.
Yeah, dude. And I'll tell you, dude, for me, where I realized the value that I can give people, because for a long time I had imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. And that's because my two coaches were Joao Assis and Marcus Buchecha. And now I'm running a gym.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, you don't feel of that same stature.
I'm not that caliber, right? Well, I'm not that caliber of competitor.
Right.
But I will put me against them any day of the week. And again, this isn't a dig at them because they both are phenomenal coaches and they run gyms that have good vibes and good energy. But I've realized I don't have to have ADCC champion level jiu-jitsu to be able to provide the environment that enriches people's lives.
Well, yeah.
And once you realize, bro, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're building killers here. There's a lot of fucking kids here that are savages now. And they learn that on these fucking mats.
Yeah.
But aside from that, we're enriching their lives in different ways. And I don't need to be a world champion to do that. No. I need to be someone that understands what people need. And and this isn't me, bro, this is us. We have a team of people here that when you walk into this gym, It's no longer, you can't deny what it is.
Mm-hmm.
People walk in and they fucking feel it, dude. And it's literally the most enriching thing that I've ever experienced as a man.
I think so. I think so too. I mean, it's not even mine, but it feels.
It
I'm
is
a
though.
part of it.
Yeah, fuck
right?
yeah, it's yours.
Put
You know
a
what I
lot
mean?
of effort and time in here, and I see it too, and I feel it as well. I see it in the faces of people, but to me, even more importantly, I see it in the faces of the people who are running this place. You, Will, me,
Yeah.
Kozak, Jordan, the men and the leaders in this place. I see it the most in them. Whereas most places, in the military, the fucking police force, the union, the people who are running it are the most fucking miserable human beings you've ever met.
Yeah. And that's because knowing it or not, maybe it's a subconscious thing, but when you know that your actions and the energy that you're putting out into whatever it is that you do, man, if it's met with resistance and if it's met with people that are like giving you fuck you energy back, bro, that's going to eat away at you.
Yeah.
And even though those dudes might be like, a lot of what they're doing is kind of self-sabotaging because of the way they conduct themselves or their leadership techniques or whatever. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, nobody wins when the leaders aren't fucking putting the right energy out into whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like culture starts at the top. And I can tell you, I don't take credit for the culture here. I take partial credit for the culture here because without you, without Will, without Kozak, without Andy, without Daniel, the culture couldn't be what it is.
Right.
And it took a long time to really slowly build that culture with a group of people that has bought into what we do here and who we are. But the thing is, now that's a hard thing to grow when we have 12 teammates.
Mm-hmm. When
you walk in the mat now and there's 40 people at practice and every one of them has bought into the culture and you're now the 41st, you know how much easier it is for that person to buy into the culture?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, you either buy into the culture or you probably just see your way out.
Yep.
And I honestly think that's why we don't have any shitheads here.
You're just going to, yeah.
And people will say like, well, if you did have a shithead, you'd beat the shit out of them. And it's like, I would beat the shit out of someone if they did something egregious.
Right.
Right? I haven't had to do anything like that.
No, and
never, dude.
There's you can like beat someone up without beating them up in jiu-jitsu as well. Like it's one thing to beat the fuck out of someone, throwing strikes and beating their ass. It's another thing just to go hard on them in jiu-jitsu. And the thing is here,
bro, I think it's worse. I think it's worse.
Dude, it's terrible.
Because I've been in plenty of fights where you know, you're a kid at the bus stop and you're punching each other in the face in the ditch and you get gravel in your knee and like you stand up and you shake each other's hand and like whatever, right?
Yeah, and it lasted 20 seconds.
That's how fights used to go anyways.
Yep.
Before now you get arrested and fucking restraining orders and all that bullshit, right? But a real fight, the violence happens so quickly and like you don't really have time to process what's happening, win or lose, right? I've never lost a fight in the streets, but I've lost fights in the ring before. I know what it feels like to get the shit beat out of me. Mm-hmm. And Anthony's a great example of this. You know, new Anthony, who's, again, a new member that is just bought off in the culture and is fucking awesome, right? Yeah. He pulled me aside, I think it was last week, and he goes, bro, I've been here 3 months now, and as soon as I started to think I was getting the hang of how this works, he goes, you just laid on top of me and I couldn't do anything. He goes, it was so frustrating. And bro, wet blanket. Mm-hmm. Dude, I'll do wet blanket on people where I literally just starfish out my limbs to build a base that is literally unsweepable and then just mount them and just lay all 205 pounds of me like a literal wet blanket.
Yep.
And people might think that sounds fucking strange, but the reason I like to do that is because what it does, and I'm not going to do this to a 13-year-old girl.
No.
You know what I mean? Like the guys that are tough and athletic and bring fucking heat, I need to let them know that like sometimes it's not about bringing heat. Sometimes I can just outposition you to a point where now you're completely pinned and you're completely helpless. And for 6 minutes, you literally can't move or breathe.
Yep.
Bro, that fucks with people.
It does. It's the time. Like you said, in a real street fight, dude, a street fight does not last very long.
No.
When you have 6 minutes on the clock
Of those emotions.
and it happens right away, you got took down and got fucking mounted or side control.
Yeah.
And you can see out of the corner of your eye that it's like 5 minutes and 57 seconds left.
Mm-hmm. and the person on top is breathing through their nose like this.
They're still chewing bubble gum, blowing bubbles. Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I'll like, and this is like the little psychological warfare is like, sometimes you get like a hair in your mouth, right? And it's like they're bucking as hard as they can, trying to get me off of them. And I'll literally just like reach up and like pick a hair out of my mouth and look at it and then kind of like flick it off to the side. Just little ways of letting you know, like, bro, I'm not even in a fight right now.
We could do this forever.
I'm basically just chilling at the beach and you're in full panic mode. And like, I know right now there are people listening that think that sounds like a power trip or something. But again, it's like, it's knowing your team. It's knowing your audience. Bro, you have to take men and women, like everybody here, you have to take them out of their comfort zone and you have to show them who they aren't.
Yep.
Right. And bro, Marcus did that to me for years. Marcus beat me up so bad one night that I ended up throwing up at the end of the round. And I've told this story before. Greg Anderson's podcasts are always the same. He just tells the same stories. And afterwards I said, Marcus, are you mad at me or something tonight, dude? Because you've never done what you did to me tonight. And he goes, no, bro. He goes, I pretended it was the finals of the world championship. He goes, I went as hard on you tonight as I'd go on Hidalgo. And he goes, the reason why? No other man can do that to you.
Okay.
He goes, he'll never, just know, no matter where you go in your jiu-jitsu journey, it ain't going to be worse than that. Bro, that's freeing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
I was just subjected to the worst beatdown by the reigning world champion. And he did it as a lesson. And it's because he cares about me.
Yeah.
It's a place of growth. It's a place of strength.
It won't get worse than that, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I made it through that and it was absolutely terrible, but I'm alive. I'm going to go home. I think about that even sometimes. Like, I think you and Daniel have probably given me the hardest rounds I've ever gone against.
Fucking Daniel.
Okay? And Daniel.
That's what he does.
Yep. But I also, that's my comparison since day one. And so.
Because you feel yourself closing that gap.
Right. But I also know, like, when I'm going to other people, like I go with Greg and Daniel, they're fucking monsters. It can't be worse than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And probably same for you. It's like, well, I used to get my ass beat by Marcus. So we can roll.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know?
Another thing that I was going to say too was, so my children have asked me this question, and on Monday night's class, I went over it. And the question the kids asked me was, like, what's the best way for you to win? Or what's the easiest way for you to win when you're fighting? And when I was upstairs teaching the concept of sweeping, we were going over basic scissor sweep. And I pulled two of the people aside, and because they were really loose, like the shin across the chest and the collar grip, just super fucking loose. And I was like, it won't work. And so I had said, like, drive your fucking shin into their chest so there's connection, and get their head down low so that you can move their body. And when I was talking, it brought me to the answer I gave the kids of what's the best way to win. To me, the best way for me to win, the easiest way for me to win, is to get my opponent to not want to fucking fight me.
Yes.
That's how I win the easiest way. If I can get my opponent to where they do not want to fight me.
And they go defensive.
100%.
And as soon as someone is defensive,
that's it.
I'm free now.
And you can see through certain moves, whether it's knee on belly, laying like a fucking wet blanket, mother's milk, putting people north-south.
So mother's milk, for people that are wondering, since we've referenced it a couple times, it's literally just like a low mount where you push your chest, your sternum, gi material, fucking chest hair, like whatever. You just smash it over people's faces. And the inability to just take a breath of air when you're in that panic mode, man, it exasperates it dramatically for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And so I've noticed, like, if you can do these things, like you call it, stealing their soul.
Yeah.
You can literally watch you steal the soul of certain individuals. There's certain individuals where it doesn't matter what I do to them, their soul is not being taken.
Bro, you're one of those individuals.
I know that.
I try and take, like, there's been times, and fuck it, it's probably been 4 or 5, 6 months now, but we were upstairs, and I don't remember how I obtained a dominant position, but I was in a dominant position for probably 5.5 minutes. And you never once stopped, like, absolutely defending with 100% of your fucking, like, tenacity and your ferocity. And then I remember, and this is where it becomes a psychological battle. I remember thinking, like, fuck, man, at what point is he finally just going to accept that I have him mounted?
Yeah.
Just fucking accept that I have you mounted.
Yep.
Then I can start looking for the choke or the armbar. But until you kind of accept it, and you're flailing back and forth and bucking and shrimping and pushing and knee in the elbow and then feet, or then hands on the hips, trying to elevate my hips, just nonstop. I remember thinking about it mid-roll. I'm like, dude, I'm the one that's in the dominant position, and I'm the one that's frustrated right now.
You're getting your soul taken.
You're taking my fucking soul when I'm beating you by all measurable metrics. If this was tournament jiu-jitsu, I'm fucking up 6 points or whatever it is by now. And I'm the one that's frustrated. So you can turn that ability to frustrate people back on them, even when you're in a bad position.
Yeah.
And bro, with like 20 seconds left in the round, I don't know if you remember this round. See, I think about this stuff. With like 20 seconds left in the round, you finally oomped me up and over. And now I'm underneath you. And bro, you turned it to fucking dial 11. And we're trying to just ferociously pass my guard. Grips on the knees, snapping me back and forth. And it didn't get to the point where you got there because the bell went off. But then I remember thinking, like, that's a loss for me. Like that, I'm the one that got frustrated. And at the end, I felt like I was saved by the bell. And I was like, God damn it, dude. But that's where all of this stuff is important. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter who the fuck you are.
No, it doesn't. Know? It doesn't. And I a lot of times go back to like what you're talking about with like the imposter syndrome, because you were raised by the greats and you didn't feel that you had that stature, but come to find out you are totally capable of teaching fucking world-class jiu-jitsu, even though you don't have ADCC medals, right?
Yeah.
And I think like I would put myself against any fucking purple belt in the world. Am I saying that I'm going to beat them? No. But I guarantee you they're not just going to fucking roll me over.
Yeah.
But the first place I've ever trained is here. You're the only coach I've ever fucking had. So all of my jiu-jitsu is essentially from you. I just applied the knowledge that you've taught me, and I feel like I'm pretty fucking good, or I've gotten pretty fucking good.
Well, and bro, it's been proven through combat now.
No, that's it.
Both out in the world. Like you had another story fucking 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
About having to fucking
throw down outside,
manhandle a fucking family member that was getting stupid and aggressive with you.
Yep.
And oh, look, it worked perfectly. And then the other side of it is even like the Cascade guys. So I've talked about it on the show. On Friday nights, we open the gym up to the surrounding teams to cross train.
Yeah.
I want to know what purple belts from across town feel like. I want to know what black belts from across town feel like. And the cool thing about this is even though we opened this up kind of with the mindset of like cross-pollinating to make both teams better, man, it's very validating.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and bro, those guys are good.
Fuck yeah,
this
they
is
are.
not diminishing how good the other teams are.
No.
Man, there's guys that come here and man, we have fucking wars with them.
Yep.
but they know that they're in a war too. And the reputation is now growing. They're like, dude, electric jiu-jitsu guys are fucking animals.
Yeah.
And it's like, just like you said, I might not beat you, but you're in a fight.
That's it.
And like, I watch all of our colored belts go against their colored belts. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right?
Yep.
But we're legit as fuck.
100%.
And that's the truth.
That's it.
You know?
That's it. And that's,
I love this shift in culture of building camaraderie with the surrounding teams.
So do I.
And I think that this is something here again, right? Like, I'm not trashing on the Brazilian culture, but the Brazilian culture, man, your team's your team. If you step outside of that, you're a creonche.
Yeah.
That's their word for traitor, right? And it's like, bro, I got nothing to gain by not doing hard rounds with fucking black belt Bill.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, he's good as fuck, man. And he challenges my jiu-jitsu and I challenge his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And he's cool as fuck. So why wouldn't we take the opportunity to be able to train together? And now what we've noticed is, bro, we're friends with all these guys now.
That is the thing. Two things that I see that come with that is being able to cross train, for one, lets you know where you're at amongst other people that you don't train with every day, who know your style. The other thing is we're creating warrior allies.
100%. That's right, dude.
So wouldn't you want all your little bordering communities that you share this place with to have other fucking warriors and allies that you know what they're made of down the road?
Let's align with the right people.
I think that's...
And bro, if you're training jiu-jitsu and you're a fucking, you put in work every day and you're trying to become better and you're eating clean foods, you're doing all the things, but you happen to live in Linwood, okay.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that we're on the same team.
100%.
You know?
And the other thing too is like, for the Brazilians to say that you're a traitor, you know, this is your team. In my mind is like, well, Electric North is my team.
There you go.
Always going to be my team.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving the team.
Like, if you left and signed up at Cascade,
that's different.
I'd be heartbroken.
Of course. Of course.
You know
I understand that.
And bro, and the inverse of that is I tell the guys that come here, because I've had people that they come train like, man, you know what? This place is actually closer to my house and I really love the vibe and shit. And I'm like, hold on a second. Cross training is not about poaching.
Yeah.
If you're part of that team, I want you to continue being part of that team. It goes back to what I was saying about being a shitty businessman.
Yeah.
But also that's going to pay dividends in the future, because the last thing I want is people to be like, oh, he hosts these open training sessions so he can start fucking
recruiting all the fucking monsters.
But I also had one guy tell me, he goes, bro, I'm a grown ass man and I can spend my money wherever I want. And I really, really like your team. Well, fuck, dude.
You know, I mean, you can't tell him no.
I can't tell him no either, you know? But I think it's very clear, especially that we have their black belts coming in here.
Yeah.
They see the vibe.
Right.
You know? And it's just like that day Muhammad was here. Like, did you watch that round?
No, I wasn't here that day. It was a Friday, right?
Yes.
I wasn't here that Friday.
And I told the story before, but he's arguably probably like the most accomplished black belt in Washington.
Okay.
There's a handful of guys. There's like Calvo and Jay Polaco, I think is he saying it. There's some fucking monsters in Washington State. And bro, again, I know who I am. I know where I'm at, right? And when he was here, and I had a good, tough, competitive role.
Mm-hmm.
I also know who he is and what his allocates are and his accomplishments. But just knowing like, oh, bro, like that guy's known for being an absolute motherfucker. And I just had a very fucking hard round with him. And bro, you know when people are bringing you competitive energy, right? Yeah. It's not like he showed up and just flopped around like a fish because it's my gym and was being nice to me.
Right.
Now, could he turn it up a little more? Probably. I'm not naive either. He's a high level competitor. But again, it goes back to what we were saying is it validates your jiu-jitsu when you get in the mix with these other really, really tough dudes.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
And he actually reached out to Bill afterwards and said, man, I want to train with those guys more. Because that was a tough night of training.
Because we need that.
There we go.
We need that.
Everybody just won from that.
See, and that's the thing is like also not being super butthurt about the end result of the role either. Because there's been a couple times where we've had some higher ranking belts from other gyms and I've actually beat them. But so far, no one has been like a dickhead about it.
No, bro, because you can't be. You know what I mean? Because the mats don't lie.
No.
And bro, like sometimes you fucking smash higher belts, and sometimes you fucking smash higher belts, and
That's
it
it.
just goes.
Like,
It's a perfect example of that is a brown belt was visiting the other week, and I'm getting to the point. It's weird. I've been black belt for so long. Like when I first got my black belt, like if you're a white or a blue belt, I should be able to do whatever I want to.
mm-hmm.
Some purples still give me problems. Some browns are still very competitive with me. As I've been a black belt so long, I'm finding a shift where now purple belts are kind of like what blue belts used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll smash most purple belts.
Yeah.
And then I got around with a visiting brown belt, and dude, it was hard.
That's what you're saying.
And it's a hard round, not only because he has brown belt level jiu-jitsu, but it's because styles make fights.
Yes.
Because I've watched, I think was it you that like,
I fucking mauled that guy.
yeah, you had a fucking like,
he couldn't do any. I submitted him like 3 times in one round. And then I told you, I was like, bro, I'm kind of proud of myself. You know, I just fucking did really well against someone who is another savage who's high ranked.
yeah.
And you're like, dude, that guy gave me a fucking nightmare roll.
Like, bro, styles make fights.
That's.
Hey, Jake, we're live on the air, but go ahead, turn the lights on and do your thing, man.
All right.
Yeah, open. Yeah, like I always say, we do real life, and we're in the gym, and open mat starts at
An hour.
Oh, right now, no, 4 to 5 is open mat, open gym.
Oh, open gym.
And
yeah.
so, our podcast studio doesn't have a door yet. So, like I said, it's a
They
work.
can deal with it.
It's a work in progress. So we're getting there. But yeah, bro, nothing to lose and a lot to gain by training with people you don't know.
I don't think so. I think that there hasn't been any negative aspect that's came with it.
And also something that's been something that probably helps facilitate that is culture, right?
Yeah.
So the gyms that feel comfortable cross training, they probably have a similar culture than us. So they're not bringing bullshit here,
Right.
you know?
And I also think that there is an awakening happening of just people who they want connection again. They want tribe. They want to be capable. They want health. They're worried about the future of fucking mankind. They're worried. There's just all these things that have popped up in the last, couple years that it's almost like a conglomerate of everything.
Yes.
That's now making it almost created this new breed of human.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always been here, but it's, I guess we're at the point where instead of just having these thoughts of want, we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's happening. And every single week there's a new person that fucking comes in this gym, or a new guest, or a new whatever it is. One more thing too, for people who are new to jiu-jitsu or want to know, because a mom asked me this last night about the belt system, and you've preached it since day one. Just because you have a certain color wrapped around your waist does not mean that the outcome of a fight is going to end in a certain result every single time.
Yep. And additionally on that, I would say 15 years ago, when I was 5 years into my jiu-jitsu journey and I was a purple belt, right? 15 years ago, I would say purple belts beat blue belts. Black belts beat purple belts, because jiu-jitsu was new enough that we didn't have fucking kids that could download 75 hours of John Danaher and just fucking take it all in through osmosis, train 5 days a week. And like, jiu-jitsu has grown to a point now where I feel like if you're motivated to fucking get good, man, you can get exceptionally good in a shorter period of time than what was possible 20 years ago.
Dude, Bill's a black belt.
That's what I'm saying. And a good black belt.
Dude, when we started, I think he started like a year or two before me.
Uh-huh.
It's like, you're a black belt?
And
Holy
bro,
shit.
And again, he geeks out
He told me.
on technique. He geeks out on it, dude.
Yeah.
And so it's like, because there is so much information to consume, And I got guys that work at Boeing that train once a week. Okay. And then you got fucking Skyler who wants to train 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And he's 22 and he wrestled his whole life.
Yeah. No wife and kids.
Yeah. And it's like, so that blue belt, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Than what other blue belts are.
Yep.
So don't think a blue belt means I'm going to beat this guy and that guy's going to beat me. I always say it, man. Let your belt just be a representation of your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Don't attach anything else to it because everybody's journey is different. And if you believe in the gym that you're a part of and you believe in your professor, just know they're going to come as they come when you're ready. And instead of thinking about it means like, I'll tell you what, dude. The only time that we actually like celebrate the hierarchy of jiu-jitsu is during our lineup at the end of practice.
Yeah.
Where it's like black belts up front and then brown and then down the ranks. And there's even a part of me that's like, maybe we just all line up however we fucking line up. Because what does it really matter? But then the equal and other side of it is, dude, celebrating people that have put in a substantial amount of work, that's also good. You know what I mean? So like everything, it's a balance.
I think it has to do with those people up at the front of the line are the leaders.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And so just like anything, you want the leader to be in the back of the fucking line or you want to be up leading the followers. And so it's
and man, Monday night, we had 45 people in lineup and you were the very front of the line.
I know, it's so weird.
You know?
It's so weird. I'm like,
and I haven't said that to you. I said, check this out, bro.
I know.
Like, boom.
And
look
it's
how
weird.
far
all of these people, if you're not around, they fucking come and ask me. And
Yeah.
it's like, why are you guys asking me, dude? I'm the same as you. I fucking ask all these questions. But the answer is no. I know them now. I can actually teach them now. They're coming to me for a valid reason.
Yeah.
It's that imposter syndrome.
Well, and the other thing is like, all you have to do is roll with you. Because if someone can absolutely just obliterate you, you need to concede that that person holds a deeper level of knowledge than you do.
Right.
And because of how you treat most human beings here, they know like, man, I got a lot to learn from Tyler, you know? But bro, here's the funny thing is like, all they need to do is go back fucking 100 episodes and listen to you talk about when you showed up getting submitted by women.
I know. And they cannot, they're like, dude, I cannot imagine a girl being able to put you down and make you tap. And I'm like, dude, it happens.
It happens
every
bro.
night for months. And they're like, I don't see it. And I didn't have the technique that I have now.
Yeah.
Because some of these people who are way stronger. Marcus is a prime example. He's
Yeah.
like, you are so fucking strong, Tyler. Yes, I am. I understand that I'm a strong person, but I am nowhere near the strongest person in this fucking gym. Sean Baker can pick me up and throw me over a fucking 30-foot wall.
Did you see my post about Sean Baker yesterday? I posted.
The snap downs.
Yeah.
God.
Because, dude, I came in here at 2 and the gym's not open at 2, but Sean has been doing privates with one of our black belts. So I came in just to hit my sauna and an ice plunge at 2. And I'm sitting in the sauna watching, and Dan's teaching him wrestling and snap downs. And bro, when that gorilla understands how to time snap downs, you're going to be eating fucking mat, dude.
You sure are.
As I said, oh, great. Thank you for teaching Sean Baker the snap down, dude.
That's the thing. But going back to that is like on pure strength, it seems like when we're rolling, wow, Tyler's really, really strong. And like I said, yes, I am strong, but it's not that. It's through jiu-jitsu, I've learned leverage points. I've learned fulcrums. I've learned weight distribution. I've learned pressure points. That's why it's so strong. Not because I'm fucking...
Because you can deadlift 550.
No, or I can take my arm and punch your arm to the ground. It's because I have my entire chest on your fucking arm and it's way the fuck out here. So of course it feels like it's 1,000 pounds. You know, it's like all these things. And so when I go back to the people asking me about, you know, when I first started or what it was like compared to where I'm now, I say there was multiple things. I was here for literally one reason. And that reason was no man is ever going to fucking do this shit to me ever again.
Yeah.
And I knew that was going to take time, but that was going to be the start of it never happening again.
Of course.
The girls played an implement. Vanessa, me thinking she's going to divorce, played an implement. The kids doing it and realizing that at some point I'm going to have 2 fucking boys, teenagers
That know how to fight.
And when they're 15 years old and I try and tell them to do shit and they look at me and go, we could take your car and all your money and tie you up in your room and you wouldn't be able to do shit, Dad.
Bro, I've told plenty of the dads that, like, bro, and I say it kind of tongue in cheek, keeping it lighthearted, but also like as a serious statement. Like, just so you know, bro, like in 2 years, I don't know if you're going to be the man of the house anymore.
100%. As soon as that kid knows.
Like, I mean, and again, I'm not going to throw any names out there, but we got a 15-year-old right now. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
And dude, if your 15-year-old can beat you up and you're the father, man, that's a massive, massive imbalance in your household. Period.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
No.
I can't imagine because I know how I was when I was a teenager.
Me too, bro.
And if I knew that I could actually physically
overpower your dad?
My dad?
Yeah, dude.
Bro, that my parents would never have it. That I probably would have just been kicked out of the house straight up.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I would have never listened to him.
Yeah.
I would have said, you can't make me.
Yeah.
Make me, Dad.
Yeah. And when I used to say things like that to my dad, it did not go my way.
No. And I was so fucking scared. I just didn't even say that shit.
And bro, I've told it. I had one incident where I thought I was ready to challenge my dad. And it took about 15 seconds to realize I'm nowhere fucking close to be in a position to challenge dad as a 16-year-old kid. And he didn't hurt me. He just picked me up against and slammed me against a wall, feet off the ground, holding me by my neck. Bro, if another man can do that to you, I'm probably not ready to fight you.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, but that kind of shit's important. You know, dude, I actually I talked to Marcus about this too, who you just referenced, because he's a super athlete.
Dude.
And he's tough as fuck, right? His son is, well, he's our top performer in kids class.
Bro.
We did an in-house tournament. He won.
Yep.
He took top. He fucking submitted everybody. And it's like, I mean, he's what, 12 or 13 right now? So I told him, I said, bro, you're in here all the time training like a fucking savage, but you can't take your foot off the gas because that motherfucker's right behind you.
Yeah, he's here every day you are, and he's a kid.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. It's insane. Another thing that I've been noticing, the kids are like asking me so many questions about jiu-jitsu, like just random fucking questions all the time. And Vinnie, I think, asked me, Vinnie hasn't been here. He got super sick. And he said, what's the biggest difference you notice when people change belts? And I said, I didn't quite understand that. I said, what do you mean? Because, you know, I could just put a black belt around your waist tomorrow and we can go to jiu-jitsu and you ain't beating me or Greg, right?
Yeah. I know where this is going though.
Well, he wanted to know, I had got the question kind of wrong. He wants to know like the biggest difference in the belts. Like, what do you see the most change happen? Is it in the white belt? Is it in the blue belt? Is it, you know? And I said, well, to be honest, they all are a pretty big change. I mean, a white belt that just bought their belt off Amazon coming in is significantly different than someone who, the day they get their fucking blue belt wrapped around them. And the dude who got his purple belt wrapped around him is significantly different every single time. But recently, and maybe I'm a lone soldier on this, I notice a huge difference. And to me, maybe the biggest, but it could just be because that's where I'm at. The difference between a brand new purple belt and a purple belt who's been training for a fucking year and a half or on their way to becoming a brown belt is like night and day different to me.
Yes. This is what I'm going to say. I think the biggest change, like the overall most measurable change, is obviously white to blue. You don't know what the fuck you're doing to your Easton or Skylar.
Yeah.
Massive change, right?
Yep.
But I think the biggest shift is for you, the individual, for your own jiu-jitsu. It's not like, hey, I know all of these moves now, so I'm good. Really, blue belt is, hey, I know all these moves now, but you don't implement them in a way that a purple belt does.
Mm-hmm.
I think a purple belt is the beginning of really having your knowledge base at your fingertips in a real-time role.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I always say, for me, purple belt is the motherfucker rank. Because white to blue belt, you're learning jiu-jitsu. And I could take almost every blue belt in the gym and be like, show me a triangle, show me a kimura, show me an omoplata, show me an armbar from top, show me an armbar from bottom. They're going to have all of that knowledge.
Yeah.
How many blue belts are doing that to you, though?
Yeah.
Not very many, because they're gaining the knowledge and they're like categorizing it in their brain. So now they have that base of knowledge, but they don't have the finesse or the ability to apply that knowledge in real time.
Right. The wisdom that comes with that knowledge.
To me, purple belt is when you can finally kind of open up your encyclopedia of jiu-jitsu and it's like, I'm going to try this in a live roll. And you fucking hit an omoplata to the back or some shit like that. And it's like,
oh shit.
Oh, it worked.
Yeah.
How many moves have you done where it almost surprises you that it works? You're like, oh, dude. Because I'm to go back to what you said, where it's like you used to learn things and you're like, this will never fucking work.
I want
right?
$50 off next month's contract.
Yeah. Bro, there's been lots of things. A perfect example is shin on shin guard.
Okay.
All right. His name's Marcelo Mafra. His nickname's Lapella, and he's a black belt world champion down in California.
Okay.
But he's built very similarly to you.
Okay.
I mean, he's a good athlete, strong, but he's not huge. He probably walks around 175.
Mm-hmm.
And he covered for Marcus one day and taught shin on shin guard. And you take the lapel and you pull it between their legs, and then you reach behind, you anchor their lapel in with a grip, and then you put your shin against their shin. And bro, it felt kind of silly when we were drilling. And to this day, anytime I try and hit a shin on shin sweep, it works almost fucking perfectly, dude. And so that's the thing. You have to learn all of these different techniques. And then at purple belt is where you start to find what techniques work fucking very well for you.
Yeah, because that's the other thing too, is like, I don't use the same moves as my training partner.
Yeah. No, of course.
He does different shit than I do. And so he's like, well, what do you do when you do this? And I go, to be honest, I don't really do that because I have a hard time with that. Like, sounds crazy to everyone. I hardly ever do arm bars. And they're like, why? I go, because for whatever reason, I always have a hard time. I go, I'm way better off fucking choking you.
And bro, 20 years into jiu-jitsu, and I still struggle choking people. Every fucking time I start choking people and they start hand fighting, and I switch to the armbar. Because I feel like, for me, the armbar is non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
I can grab a hold of your arm and start bending it backwards, and it's going to snap or you're going to tap.
Yeah.
Whereas the choke, man, and I know a lot of people will say the opposite. A lot of people are like, no, chokes are better because those are non-negotiable because they go to sleep.
But it's also,
But I find them being harder to finish.
yeah.
And I don't know if that's a mental thing, maybe how my body is structured, where I'm the strongest. Like, you have extraordinarily strong hands and forearms.
Yes.
And so because of that, you swung fucking forging hammers for 10 hours a day for 17 years. When you grab onto a lapel, you own that lapel now.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna play into being a choker.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But again, this all starts to, that's where I think at purple belt, everything starts to come together, where you start to hone, not only have an understanding of all of these different techniques, but you really start to hone what specific techniques work well for you.
Work for you.
Yeah.
Because the body types, triangle is obviously like the stereotypical thing.
Yeah.
A tall dude gets triangles on you. Craig doesn't get triangles on you.
Yeah, exactly.
And does that mean that triangles suck or that they're bad? It's like, no, you just got to pick a different style.
And that's half the fun of it too.
Yeah.
If we all had the same game, well, what are we even doing then?
Oh.
That's what makes it cool, having all these different people. The other thing that I was going to say in regards to what do you notice change from belt to belt? And this is something I've started to learn over the last couple of years, is I used to be of the mindset, if I'm going to put a belt on you, you have to be that fucking person 1000%. There's no debate. I know beyond a shadow of a fucking doubt, you're a purple belt, and now I'll put a purple belt on you. And for me, that's more of an ego thing, because if you're wearing my purple belt, that's representing my name, right? But as I really find my own as a coach, and most coaches I would guess would agree with this, sometimes you can see people that have plateaued for a while. And I'm not saying I'm going to be a belt factory and give out someone a belt that they haven't earned. But what I've noticed is a lot of times the new belt reinvigorates people.
Yeah.
And so if you're right on that cusp of purple belt, and I've called like Joao and talked to him about this, and he always says like, bro, like he errs on the side. He goes, if you think that they're ready, if you're contemplating and you're thinking they're ready, it's probably because they're ready. You know, I'm not considering putting a purple belt on someone that sucks, right? But instead of having it like, oh no, this person has to be an absolute fucking killer, maybe they need that purple belt to like reinvigorate them, to really buckle down and invest in their own jiu-jitsu that much more, because they're like, fuck,
yeah,
I got a purple belt now. Now everybody in the room is looking at me, just like you said. Once you're a purple belt in this gym, man, you're a leader.
Yeah.
People are looking to you for answers. People want to be able to lean on you. And so sometimes I think that last little fucking step that people need to grow into it is literally the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about that is those are typically the people that aren't seeking promotions.
Right.
They're nervous about it. You know?
It comes as fucking...
It comes with responsibilities,
yeah.
bro. Leadership is a burden. I say it all the time. Leadership's a burden. And if you're seeking it, you need to be seeking it for the right reasons. And so a lot of people are adverse to that. And I was one of those people for a long time. Like, I didn't want to get promoted. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking nerve. It makes me anxious.
And I've seen it. And I've seen it in the kids too. And you're already seeing it. How many fucking kids have we tied gray belts on? And they level up.
They level up.
Because they're like, oh, I'm not one of these fucking white belts that dicks off anymore. I'm a motherfucking gray belt.
Dude, Tinsley. When the other day, when you put that around, she was almost crying.
Yeah.
And I thought she was going to start crying because sometimes she's a little brat about the way things fit. I thought the belt was too long, and she was crying, about to start crying because of that. And I was like, too fucking bad. But when we got done, I said, are you really mad about your belt? And she's like, no. And I go, why were you about to cry then? And she goes, I'm just so proud of myself, Dad. It took me 4 years.
Fuck, dude. That makes me want to cry.
Dude,
think about that, dude.
That's it. She goes, Dad, it took me 4 years. But then now, ever since, so that was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I haven't had to ask her one time. I'll say, hey, we're going to jiu-jitsu. And she's like, yeah, my gis, I'm waiting for it to dry. Whereas before, it was
like him and Han. And yeah.
Now she's like, no, I earned this. Over 4 years, Professor Greg and my dad noticed that I'm no longer a white belt, that maybe I don't win that often, but I do know the positions. I know what jiu-jitsu is. I know I've gotten arm bars and side control. And now I need to come because now there's white belts who are going to try and beat me.
Yeah. See, bro, how old's Tinsley now?
8.
There you go, bro. An 8-year-old is able to not only fucking feel the power and feel the growth, but articulate it too.
Yeah.
Like, I got to be there now.
I got to be there.
You know?
She was so proud of herself that an 8-year-old girl is crying of happiness, of fulfillment, of joy. And it's so like, how many fucking kids have put commitment into something for 4 years and really never be rewarded for it?
Yeah.
I'll say like, good job, or, I'm proud of you or whatever it is, but I don't fucking... It's a part of life.
Yeah.
It's no different than when we go to bed or brush our fucking teeth. Like, jiu-jitsu is a part of our life. I'm not going to give you a pat on the back for going to fucking jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I'm not really going to give you that much of a pat on the back for getting that much better. You better get better. We go there every fucking week.
Yeah.
It's like, but on something like that, where it wasn't about Dad telling her. It was, she has her own representation for herself.
Yeah, dude.
That no one can ever take from her.
It's so fucking cool. And how many times have we said it? It's like half of our gray belts, that are 12, 13 years old, if they quit today, the trajectory of the rest of their life is already different.
Oh, dude.
It's already different. You know, I mean, it's fucking right now. It's fucking 4:22. We got practice starting in 40 minutes.
Yes.
And bro, like I'm excited. I love when the kids start coming in and you see the look in their eyes that's different than what it was 3 months ago.
Yep.
And they're in it now. You know,
they believe, they can see.
The last thing, because it's going to be time to wrap this up in a couple minutes. The last thing I want to bring up though is that July 1st. At 11 a.m., we're hosting an event here, and it's black belt world champion Joao Assis fighting 100 white belts in a row. No break, no sipping water, no catching your breath. Slap and bump till submission. Next guy, slap and bump till submission, 100.
Dude, that's a lot.
Bro, it's gnarly.
That is a lot.
And this YouTube channel that has like a 1.3 million subscribers, so it's like a pretty big YouTube channel. They reached out and said, "Hey, is this something? This is an idea that I've been having to really show the power of jiu-jitsu. Is that something you're interested in?" Joe, I was like, "Yep, I'll do it." But electric jiu-jitsu down in Huntington is very small. It's a small mat space. And it's a small parking lot. So they can't host an event. If we're going to have 100 white belts, we'll probably have 200 people here.
Yeah.
You know, but we got 4 acres to park fucking cars on, you know? And so, again, dude, I don't have 100 white belts. I might be somewhere close to that, but a lot of our people are children too. I need 100 white belt adults. So guess what? Because I'm friends with all the surrounding academies, I have a group text with all the black belts. And we're going to make this happen now using white belts from all the surrounding academies. What a cool opportunity. Man, if you're a white belt and this isn't, this is my chance for glory. Just come and see put your white belt jiu-jitsu up against an 80cc champions jiu-jitsu to see how it feels. Yeah. Right. The only thing, I mean, and I'm putting it out over the podcast, so fucking white belts just show up and be like, I want to fight Joao Assis. Here's the deal though. I want to vet people, right? I don't want to build a path that's easy for Joao or pad numbers or, you know, but the other side of it is, I mean, I've already had some people be like, dude, can I put a white belt on? No, motherfucker, you can't.
No, that you're lying.
Because that's not what we're doing here. We're showing the power of jiu-jitsu, that someone that has put 20 years into the highest level of jiu-jitsu, how they fare against 100 people that have not put that time in. That's the whole point of it. Yeah. And so on one hand, I don't want to tell people like, go easy on him. But what I don't want is, bro, I want people to go out there and show their jiu-jitsu. Right. Don't fucking spaz out and fucking like, you know, because a lot of white belts are still guilty of that. Just like we've been talking about for 2 hours. They don't understand the energy exchange. They don't understand positionally what's happening. And sometimes people do crazy shit like bend fingers backwards or something. And it's like bending his fingers backwards and ruining the event. Nobody has anything to gain from that. And then the other side of it is that you ain't beating him. No. You bend Joel's fingers backwards in a street fight, he's going to rip your head off of your body, dude. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's why I want to vet people. I want to make sure it's not like, and then the other thing is like, some collegiate wrestler like Jordan, for example. Jordan's a purple belt now, so it's not applicable to him. But let's say you got some 25-year-old that just fucking graduated Nebraska State and it was like fucking NCAA division, blah, 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 whatever. Right. That's also not a white belt. Right. Okay, I get it. You're new to jiu-jitsu and you just showed up, you got a white belt on. But you're an elite grappler, right? Oh, I got one in on him. Like, don't be proud of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what this is about. I want to show jiu-jitsu, experienced jiu-jitsu against new jiu-jitsu. And I think it's going to be a super cool event. But the reason I want to vet people is because I don't want just people fucking that are here for fucking like a moment of glory. Yeah, you know?
Clout or fucking fame or anything.
Now, like with that said, please try and win. You fucking triangle Joao Assis as a white belt. Like, that's fucking huge, right? And dude, I talked, like, me and Lappin were actually talking about, I was like, man, Joao has a lot to lose and not a lot to gain from this.
Not at all, dude. Not at all.
Because His fucking resume speaks for itself. He doesn't have to prove how good he is at jiu-jitsu, right? And dude, when you fight 97 men and the 98th dude does have a great triangle because he's been a white belt for 3 years, bro, that's jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
It could happen. And that's why it's like, fuck, man. But that's also what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so this episode will drop June 22nd. So you'll have like a week or 10 days or whatever before the event. And if you're interested in that, hit me up, go to The Electric North and email me. And if you want to be part of that, then I'll put you on the roster. But I don't want just people randomly showing up that I haven't talked to or I haven't met before. Because like, I promise you, there's some fucking purple belt somewhere that would love to fly in here and put on a white belt and just fuck the event up.
And the thing is like,
you know,
and I feel like Joao would know immediately.
Of course he would.
We know immediately.
Yeah. And Joao would, and here's the thing, man. Joao treats me like a child. So he's going to treat every purple belt like a child as well. But everybody, if you're being completely honest, 100 purple belts versus as opposed to 100 white belts, it's not even the same fucking universe.
No.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, and so that's not what the event is. The event is showing white belt jiu-jitsu against a fucking 7-time world champion.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be fun, man. I think it's going to be cool.
How long do you think, let's say he beats everyone, okay? What's your estimation of the time?
So we were talking and he thinks, and he's been training for it now for a couple weeks and like chewing through his white belts at practice. Mm-hmm. And he says about 1 a minute is what he's going to hopefully kind of, that's the guideline he wants to try and follow.
I was going to say 40 to 45 minutes.
Well, bro, that's 100 minutes.
Oh, 100 minutes. Holy shit.
It's 100
twice
minutes.
as long. Sorry.
Yeah.
Twice. I was going to, okay, so like 90.
It's an hour and a half of
probably
fucking,
even more.
Yeah. Dude. But here's the thing too. And this is where strategy comes in, because if Joao was coming at me at 100%, he could probably submit me. I mean, I don't fucking know.
Right.
I'm different. I'm one of his fucking black belts, right? But if Joao was going against a white belt and it was like slap, bump, and finish this guy as fast as you can, it's probably going to be 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, he can fucking just latch on to fucking Kimuras and wrist locks and shit fast as fuck. But you also can't keep that pace for 100 minutes.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're substantially better or not. It's just the expenditure of energy. You can't sprint for 100 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I told him, and obviously he knows jiu-jitsu better than me, so he'll build whatever path he needs to build. But if I were doing it, I would play a loose open guard and not expend much energy until I could either throw up a submission from the bottom or hit a sweep. And then the second I get on top, latch in like a Kimura, because that's one of his fucking go-tos. That gorilla gets your arm, you don't get it back. And so you have to play somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't want to fucking just turn it to dial 10. But if you're too lackadaisical, if it takes 4 minutes a white belt, I mean, fuck, dude. We're talking hours now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So I know.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun, man. Other than that, I just want to put out that July Guns and Geese in Lake Stevens is sold out. August, we have a couple more classes. And again, the Guns and Geese program is about culture and vibe, and it's a fun fucking weekend. And if you've been kicking around the idea, we have a few more slots in our August class. It starts August 24th.
Is that up here?
Yeah, it's up here. Both July and August are here at the gym. And then obviously our range out in Granite Falls. I see you're being fucking consistent, putting out good shit on the Compassionate Viking.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our fucking listeners obviously dig every time we get together because we just shoot the shit and make it fun. But go support Tyler's podcast too.
Yeah, please do.
Check him out. He's on all the platforms. And that's what makes this industry fun, man, is it's like you can really go into this with a mindset of abundance. Rising tides lifts all ships.
Yeah.
And if you take some of my downloads or I take some of your, I don't give a fuck, dude.
I don't give a shit.
Good people are putting out good products, and anything that is something that has a potential to help people, fuck, man, let's put it out there. I know agree. Fucking Toby and Kozak and Jordan are doing their Enlightened Neanderthals.
Yeah.
And bro, this is going to be their studio too. We're going to share this because I told them, like, yeah, I'm building a studio. I have to. If they're not in a place where they have a studio, fuck, dude, let's everybody can you can come here and use the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I have a lot of podcasts that I would really like to be on or have them on, but it's not feasible for me to be traveling around every single fucking time.
Yeah.
I don't have the internet at my house. So even like a Zoom, I'm not a super advocate of these Zoom fucking podcasts.
But sometimes it is what it is. Yeah.
I feel like on a few of these people, it would be way more of value to get a podcast where we're on a Zoom than us to just not podcast at all.
For sure. And I'm in complete agreement. You know, I did the one with Chris Piota, the retired FBI agent.
Yep.
And I did that over Zoom. That's my first time doing that.
Okay.
And I thought it was a good podcast.
Right.
I do believe it'd be better if he was sitting across the table from me.
Of course.
But fuck, man, he lives in Florida. And I actually looked into booking it when he told me he wanted to do a show. I was like, well, I'll come to you then. I'll bring my travel case and blah, blah, blah. And you're looking at a $2,000 weekend. And it's just like, with all the shit going on, it doesn't make sense sometimes, you know?
Yeah. It's just unreasonable.
All right.
Fucking A.
I got bro, that fucking dip made me want to throw up for like 20 minutes.
I seen that.
I got all fucking green and that's fucking bizarre, dude.
You got to spit it. You can't swallow it.
You got anything else, bro?
No, that's it. Come follow me on Compassionate Viking. I got a lot of shit coming up, whether it's, I'm starting a little kids, nature school that the little mantra for it's going to be for the ones yet to come, because I believe that I can help these children a lot more than whatever they're learning at their public schools. And if anyone wants to learn blacksmithing and forging, I got that up now too for private lessons. We just had a buddy's son come over and forge all day, and he had a fucking absolute blast. So get a hold of me and we'll see you next time.
Fuck yeah. And as always, all your contact information, your podcast links, your email, everything will be in the show notes below. And dude, don't just take this as two guys podcasting. Like, this is a real fucking community. And if you're local, have the fucking courage to step outside of your comfort zone and start taking people up on some of this stuff. I don't care if it's jiu-jitsu, if it's forging, if it's fucking like attending one of Tobin's fucking shooting courses through Training Northwest. Like, what we're building here is undeniable. And the more cool people that are a part of it, the more we all win. So
100%. And if you're in the area, like within 30 miles, come drive up here and see us. Come fucking say hi. We're here.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
So. All right. I see kids rolling in. Let's go teach them jiu-jitsu.
Let's do it.